either right after the hockey game.
CBC Sports presents Hockey Night in Canada and the Stanley Cup playoffs.
The Montreal Canadiens came highly focused for Game 4 of the Adams Division Final. Pat Burns' brigade, needing to put together a winning streak, began with a mean streak. And no Boston Bruin was exempt. Hits from Brian Skrudland and Chris Chelios set the tone, and even Patrick Roy sought room to roll. He dished it out, then he took it all in. Craig Janney, a key save, and for good measure, another on Cam Neely. On offense, Canadiens captain Guy Carbonneau offered opening and closing acts of attack, while Stéphane Lebeau entered the picture for the first time in these Stanley Cup playoffs. He engineered two beautiful goals as the Canadiens won 4-1 in the face of elimination. Quite a coup for this new crew as they force a Boston-Montreal rendezvous.
Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Howell's in front of the net. Scores! 2-0 for St. Louis.
Back it comes to Sheen. Shooting. Vernon kicks out a rebound. They score!
Murray in for Lamb. Lamb going to the back and scores!
Forced it. Behind the net. Skrudland. They score!
Several members of the 1990 Boston Bruins jumped from the Ivy League to the National Hockey League. Coach Mike Milbury made the Bs not long after making A's at Colgate. Now his best students include the star of Game 1, Dave Poulin, who prepped for a career here by learning the ways of the Fighting Irish. The hero of Game 2 was Gary Galley, who celebrated an NCAA title in 1984 while at Bowling Green. The following year, John Carter did the same at RPI. Now he's helped put Montreal on the brink of RIP. It's the old college try the Bruins must revive as they play host to the Habs in Game 5.
Brought to you by Molson Canadian, what beer's all about. By Ford of Canada, where quality is more than a commitment, quality is job one. By Esso, going that extra mile. And by Pepsi, it's got what it takes.
It was hot and humid in Boston today, the temperature hovering around 92 degrees Fahrenheit. That coupled with the NHL's most intimate arena, you get the impression the heat's on for Game 5 of the Adams Final. Good evening and welcome to historic Boston Garden and to Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC and the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm Ron McLean. There are no lineup changes for the Canadiens this evening. Richer, McPhee, and Naslund were all a possibility tonight, but Pat Burns has elected to go with the same lineup that was a winner for him in Game 4. The Bruins are relatively healthy, but they're feeling the pressure. They don't want to give the Canadiens the chance to square the series back on home ice and make this a winner-take-all affair. Well, you can hear the reception for the Canadiens. The Bruins are about to arrive in the broadcast booth tonight to provide the accounts of the game, Bob Cole. And for their pregame thoughts amidst the din, let's go now to Dick Urban and Harry Neal.
Well, thank you, Ron. And while the Bruins get their cheer coming on the ice, let's talk about the Canadiens and what has been the most talked about part of their game. A negative part, I guess, Harry, really. But I know you'd still like to talk about their powerless power play.
Well, they're 0 for 16 in the series. I don't think they'd be down 3-1 if they had any production at all. The good news is, if they score a few power play goals in the next 3 games, they could win the series. Stéphane Lebeau made the power play in Game 4 look a little better, especially with some smart plays from behind the net out to people in front. Whether he can do that in this small Boston Garden remains to be seen.
A playmaking center paid off for the Canadiens the other night, and another for the Boston Bruins. Craig Janney was held pretty well in check by Guy Carbonneau and the Canadiens.
Absolutely. You know, Bob Cole, in the first 3 games, it was Janney does this, Janney gets a chance, Janney passes it here, Janney passes it there. Neely and Prop need those nice passes from Janney. He was invisible in Game 4. Tonight, Milbury will make sure Carbonneau doesn't get out all night against him. Burns, watch for this matchup, will try and get Ludwig and Chelios out against that line.
Okay, Harry, thank you very much. And now, once again, Ron, with someone who's never invisible on Hockey Night in Canada, Don Cherry.
Okay, all right, now listen. I know what the talk was around Boston, and I know it wasn't the power play. It was in the papers today. It was full of it about how Montreal knocked them around, and Janney, when he took the shot in the head, and Moog went down, and nobody did a thing. Nobody could understand what's going on in Boston. I know they, Mike had a meeting at 5 o'clock last night, and I'm sure it was brought up. Lyndon Byers, I guarantee you, will be playing tonight, and if anybody's run, look out tonight. We could have a lot of fun.
So you don't buy the fact they won with discipline all year long? Why start now?
Well, listen, let me tell you, there's a certain line between discipline and acting like wimps. They know they acted like wimps. It was in the paper they acted like the paper here. Believe me, when they play tonight, anybody runs anybody tonight, it's going to be trouble. That's the way it should be. Boston Bruins, go out in your shield.
Okay, the Boston Bruins play host to the Montreal Canadiens. The fans in the immediate area like what Don Cherry's had to say, and I'm sure they'll like what we're all about to see. Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC returns in a moment.
Performance. For some people, it's a way of life. For them, there's Speed Stick Plus antiperspirant. Nothing glides on drier. To protect you against wetness and odor all day. Speed Stick Plus, the wide stick.
5 minutes. After the scraping, after soothes, after the burning, after soothes, after aftershave skin conditioner. Nothing's more soothing after.
5 minutes.
We're offering 10.9% financing or $750 cash back on 2 of Canada's best-selling cars, Tempo and Topaz. But what we're really talking about goes way beyond just incentives. For $12,795, you not only get a host of features, but you also get air conditioning, and even automatic. Not to mention the most important feature of all, quality.
We couldn't call ourselves experts if we didn't have Adidas Torsion.
There you see the haze of Boston, Mass. The humidity nearly 90% and the temperature over that, 30 degrees Celsius today. And the fans in what is now air-conditioned Boston Garden await Game 5 of the Adams Division Final. Boston leading 3-1. Last night in the Norris Division Final, it was Chicago and St. Louis at the stadium, and the Hawks won 3-2. Thomas scored the game-winning goal and was then ejected for a high stick. Hawks lead the series 3-2, headed to Game 6 in St. Louis, and we'll have that tomorrow evening on Hockey Night in Canada. The big story, of course, in Washington has been the play of these three. Jeff Courtnall, John Druce, and Dale Hunter have combined for 26 points in the last 4 games. Druce in that stretch has been really impressive with 7 goals in the last 3 of those games. All Capitals victories. Mike Liut's in goal tonight for Washington. There was some talk that Donnie Beaupre would be able to go for the Caps, but Liut was strong in Game 4 and gets the start again for Terry Murray's squad. What a run it's been for the Murrays. Terry with Washington and Brian overseas with Team Canada. That'll be our update game this evening. The Capitals and the New York Rangers with a 2-game spread in that series, as is the case here, a 2-game spread. Well, in thus far the playoffs offensively, the Boston Bruins have had pretty good contributions from Cam Neely with 14 points. He's now 4th in scoring in these Stanley Cup playoffs. They've got 36 goals to show for 11 games, averaging just over 3 a game. The Montreal Canadiens are under 3 a game. In 10 playoff games, they've got 28 goals. Here at Boston Garden, a big treat is always the way they honor America. Let's go now ringside to Rennie Rancourt for the Star-Spangled Banner.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the bond of the brave?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Game 5. Denny Morrell, the referee tonight, and on the lines will be Gord Brossiger and Kevin Collins. The goaltenders in this one, almost dead even in playoff numbers. Raw has a goals against average of 2.48. Andy Moog, 2.18. Each has the shutout. Moog's save percentage, 911. Raw's 909. Andy Moog has the better number in wins. He is 7-3. Raw 5-5. He'll be trying to catch up tonight. Moog and the Bruins will try again to finish up tonight. Canadians start Chelios and Ludwig, Lemieux, Skrudland, and Gilchrist. Wesley and Bork on the defense for Boston. Burridge, Poulin, and Christian the forward line. Starting off right away. A penalty is being called against the Montreal Canadiens. We're only 17 seconds into the hockey game. And the robust Brian Skrudland is going off.
Well, he stapled Glenn Wesley from behind, it looked like, into the boards, and Wesley was a long time getting up. And those are the kind of calls the referees have made all year, hitting from behind, especially when the guy lunges into the boards. And Skrudland puts his team in trouble real early here in Game 5.
Denny Morrell making the early call. Harry, the last time you saw Denny, he was in a spot of trouble in that final game of the Calgary-LA series. So he's hoping for a quieter night, but I don't think it'll be very quiet for Pat Burns, the Canadians, and Burns' team on the defensive right off the bat.
Well, the Boston penalty killing has been magnificent, obviously, this year in this series, and their power play's been held, and Montreal penalty killing has not got credit for doing the job they've done in this series.
No changes in either lineup. Messrs. Richer, Nazem, and McPhee all skated this morning, but they are all still on the injured list. And Mike Nobury sticking with his same lineup as 2 nights ago.
Neely is on the ice now for Boston. Christian is going off. Prop on there for the Bruins. Here's Bork shooting it in. Janney is the other forward. Puck off the glass, knocked down by Bork. Bork keeping it in with Janney. Now Janney is going to try to set it up. He put it in front of the net, went after it, it hit a leg, and came back to him. A Bruins player flattened, and that was Prop. Along the boards. Canadians are going to clear it out. Sliding it down the ice is Keane. 1:20 left in the penalty. Neely and Chelios in behind the play. We're talking it up. Here's Janney coming in. Janney slides it back to Neely on his skateboard. Shot, a high one off an arm. And over the glass in behind, Patrick Waugh.
Harry, I thought Raymond Bork had one of the best after-game quotes the other night. The Bruins, and especially the Boston media more than the Bruins, made a big deal out of the Chris Chelios and Andy Moog situation when Chelios knocked Moog down. Bork said, you know, if we'd have scored on that power play when he was in the penalty box, you wouldn't even be talking about this right now. Pretty sensible remark from a very sensible guy and a great hockey player who's had quite a series.
Neely taking his position outside the blue line, talking to Skrudland in the penalty box for the Canadians. And they didn't appear to be mincing any words.
Two Western Canadian boys talking over the planting that's coming up out there.
I know.
Sure. But they're going to plant each other, I think.
Carpenter on this face-off for Boston. Carbonneau for the Canadiens. 1:10 left in the penalty. Early penalty against Strudland of Montreal. Chelios trying to get away from Carpenter. He is good with the puck. I don't have to tell you that. Chelios clears it to center. Ludwig fell, but he's back up in a hurry as he sees the Bruins organizing. Neely coming in. Slides a pass to Janney. Deflected back to the net. Chelios has bumped. The crowd loves that. Chelios against Neely. In on the boards. Chelios knocked down. But the Canadiens are coming out. Chelios wanted a penalty. Keane is turned around. And he is sent flying. 30 seconds left in the Montreal penalty. Christian coming up over the line. Christian stopping in the corner. Looking back to the line. And now, back of the net it goes. And a penalty coming up to Chelios of Montreal. A high stick.
Now, is he cut, Harry? The referee goes right to the player.
Chelios
And wouldn't that be something?
And Cam Neely went to the bench halfway through that power play, and he's been cut.
That was on the play where he drilled Chelios into the glass, and let's see.
5 minutes. Chelios is gone.
He's gone for the game?
5 in a game.
No, I don't think so. Wait a minute. You better hang on here.
Well,
I think Morel pointed to the ice when he looked at Chelios as if he was trying to say, no, you're staying here, but you're going to the penalty box. We'll see.
well, he gave him a funny signal, Bob, and usually when you get a signal, it's not to the box. 2 minutes it is. That's a real break for the Montreal Canadiens. And, of course, Boston's belly aching about it right now.
The key is, of course, was he cut on the play. Janney, now there's the stick up. No doubt about the high stick. And then, of course, all this business about who's an easy bleeder and who isn't in this day and age of hockey. And there you see it. The penalty is deserved. In Morel's view, a 2. And that's what he got. 17 seconds left on the Strudland penalty. So the Canadiens will be 2 men short for that length of time. Then the Chelios penalty. Chris sitting in the penalty box, about 1, 2, 3, 4 people removed from his father, who's down to the right of the penalty box area.
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that Craig Janney was wearing a mask, Chelios would be out of this game. The mask saved what would have been a cut, I'm sure.
As Dick just mentioned, 17 seconds left in the Strudland penalty, so the Canadiens are 2 short, but more importantly for the Boston Bruins, the face-off is to the right of the Canadian goal. And they have 2 extra men in there trying to find the puck, and they do. At the side of the net, Canadiens trying to come up with it. In back of the goal, Christian has it. Slides it out to Janney. Janney on a sharp angle, now Bourque. Bourque moving up. Winds up, shoot, rebound. Janney dumped it in front. And the Canadiens clear it down the ice, and Strudland's penalty has been served.
And Cam Neely is not on this power play, and normally, obviously, he would be. But he's getting attention from not only the trainer, but the doctor on the Boston bench.
Here is Bourque. The pass. Janney kept it onside. By holding it for a second, Janney gets it back to Bourque again. A shot in there, deflected by Propp. And the Canadiens get it out again. Waugh coming up with a big save. And it's fired down the ice. 1:10 left in the penalty to Chelios. He had a minor for a high sticking. Now the Bruins coming out. This is Burridge with Janney sliding it in. A shot by Christian. Going for the short side and just missed. Bruins are on it. Burridge trying to pass it off. Gets it in front. And Ross stopped another big one. Oh, Ross knocked it in behind the net. Scrambled up the side of the goal. The Bruins poured on. But Ross right there waiting for him. Here's Bourque winding up. Janney stepping in. Centered it. It's deflected wide of the goal. Canadiens just hanging on now on this power play. Boston. Bourque. Wesley shot. Blocked in front of the net. And the Canadiens get the puck out over the line. 25 seconds left in the Chelios penalty. Here come the Bruins again. This is Bourque moving up there. Bourque slides it back to Janney. Oh, and a bad pass. Gould had moved away from Janney. Bork now, 10 seconds left in the power play. Bork in with Burridge. Burridge cutting for the net, centered it through the crease. Bruins are on it. It is centered back again to Bork. That's blocked. The penalties have been served. There is Chelios. Canadians coming out. Chelios moving in with Skrulin. He took the pack of Carbonneau. First big save in the Boston end, and Andy Moog made that one. A fine stop it was. What a start to this hockey game. Wow. No score, nearing the 5-minute mark. Long shot in there, missed the net. Desjardins let it go. Another centering pass. Carter on it for Boston. Gets it to Gould. He lost it. This is Corson pitching in there. Centered it, and it's off the skate, and the Bruins are coming out. Carter moving down with Carpenter. That's broken up. The Canadians can't move it. Svoboda missed it. Desjardins getting away from a hit thrown by Byers. Montreal's LeBeau coming out. A Boston penalty coming up. LeBeau moving in, shooting off his stick, and the puck comes back to the blue line. Desjardins slapped it in. The Bruins have it, and here's the penalty being called now against Boston. The Canadians have killed 2 penalties early. Now they have a power play.
There's a line that every player must cross. And whether that line is drawn in chalk or paint, on a sheet of ice or under a man-made sky, when you cross the line, you give it your all. And when you return, Gatorade helps put it back. Fluid, energy, Gatorade.
Gatorade is Thursday, for that deep down body thirst.
They're playing Game 5 of the Patrick Division Final at Madison Square Garden, New York. The Washington Capitals can wrap up the series with a win this evening, and they score first. Kelly Miller breaks in on the left-hand side and scores the second goal of the playoffs on John Van Beesbrook. Capitals 1, Rangers no score.
Well, there's Cam Neely. Harry mentioned he wasn't on the power play, and he's been in that position getting attention for about 5 minutes now. He's been hurt.
Canadians killed 2 penalties, and for 17 seconds they were short 2 players. And they came out of it smiling. Now they want to do some laughing as they go to center and shoot it in. They're on a power play. Myers in the penalty box for Boston. Moog out of the net, giving it to Wesley. Wesley trying to clear. He got it high, all right, by everybody, and over the glass.
Well, if you're a believer in the law of averages, Dick, Montreal will get a power play goal before too long. And in this kind of a game, it could be the winner. Cam Neely has left the bench and gone to the Boston dressing room to be further repaired, and the Boston trainers are now trying to find the doctor in the crowd to have him meet Neely in the dressing room. So it's more than just a superficial cut.
Face off deep in the Boston zone. 5:34 gone. Period 1. And what a hectic start to this game here at the Boston Garden. A hot day today. All signs. Going to be a hot night. The way these two have started. Svoboda flipped it in to Corson on the boards. It goes. Svoboda at the line. Winds up, steps in, takes a shot. That's blocked by Wesley. And it's cleared down the ice. Canadians have Chelios and Svoboda, Corson, LeBeau, and the Courtnall up front. And the Bruins are going to send the Canadians back again. 1:10 left in the power play for Montreal. Here's Svoboda. Passes off to Chelios to center against Poulin. Shoots it in, and Galley was there to clear it down the ice again. Canadians make changes. 50 seconds left in the Boston penalty. Chelios through center. Peterson faked the shot, just slapped it in. Moog takes it off the board. He won't play it out. Chelios stopped it there at the blue line. He was hit, shakes it off. Chelios pass, Svoboda in, centered it. Drive from in front of the net by Peterson was blocked. But he got that one away in a hurry. Blocked in front of Moog. 25 seconds left of the penalty. Here's Smith and Lemieux. over the line for Montreal. Bobby Smith. Peterson has been hurt near center ice, and they have stopped the play.
And Pat Burns is very upset, and I know why. Brian Skrudland drew a penalty for checking from behind, and right here, they ran Peterson into the boards right at the penalty box area, and he's still down on his knees. That's Galley and Peterson. And he was impaled on the boards. Looks like he could have hurt his ribs with the wind knocked out, whatever. He had a great scoring chance, Harry, just before, after a super play at the blue line by Chelios helped set him up. And this is the youngster out of the Sherbrooke team. He was brought up because of the injuries to Richer, Naslund, and McPhee. And now just getting his wind back by the look of it.
I think that's what he was, winded. Andy Moog is instrumental in many of the Boston breakouts. The Montreal Canadiens shoot-ins, their recovery rate of them has been very low in this series, and here's why. It goes right to Moog, and he either sets it up for the defenseman, like he did right here, only the winger wasn't in position, or he dumps it past the first forechecker. If Montreal's going to shoot it in, and you almost have to in this building, and they got to get it up on the glass, going around where it's unpredictable, and the goalie's afraid to come out. Andy Moog is one of the better puck-handling goalies, especially at making the right decision to get it past the first forechecker.
Carter and Carpenter now, the penalty killers for Boston.
Here's this Neely injury. Now, their sticks come up, and is it his own player?
Yeah. It's Bobby Carpenter's white tape stick.
Bork and Don Sweeney on the defense for the Bruins, and Bork slides it out. And the penalty is over now. Byers is on the ice. Bork, bump by Skrudland. Don Sweeney going after it. He ran into Bobby Smith. Carpenter comes over to help for Boston. Bork is there also. Bump by Skrudland again. Lemieux ran into his man back to the net. Byers is upended. The Bruins come out. Pass stopped at the Canadian line by Schneider. Here is Schneider. Lemieux spun around at center. He didn't like that. Bruins shoot it in. And they make changes. Schneider is coming out. Getting to the line at center. Bobby Smith up over the Boston line. Trying to one-hand it over in front of the net. Galley takes him out of the play. And then he came in with a heavy hit. Wesley's pass to center. Hoggood trying to go in with Bob Sweeney. Wide of the net. Hoggood nearly hit him. Bob Sweeney to Hoggood. Knocked down back to the goal by Desjardins. Canadiens, Carbonneau is there. Flipped at it. Hoggood went after him. Canadiens come up with it. Desjardins gets it out to Swoboda. The long shot will go high into the crowd. And they stop the play. Goodness knows they need a breather.
You know, the decision you make here at the pump has a lot to do with how your car performs year-round. What you put into it is what you get out of it. And when you put in Esso Supreme, you get a premium unleaded gasoline designed with high octane and improved cleaning power to deliver peak performance. Esso Supreme, the supremely intelligent gasoline. Esso, go on that extra mile.
Well, now we've got a bit of a hassle at the bench area. You see Réjean Lemelin, the backup goaltender for Boston. There's just a glass there on the Canadiens bench. He always sits right next to the Montreal bench. Now, he and Lemieux started into it. Morel came over and really went to Lemelin. Before that, when Lemieux was going off the ice after his last shift, John Carter hammered him with a punch from behind as he got into the box. And look at this going on now. They're still talking.
Everything on the line again for the Canadiens tonight.
If I was the Canadiens, I'd ask the referee to move Lemelin over and put the trainer up against the glass.
Puck lifted down inside the Montreal blue line. Boston another chance to wrap up the series. They failed in Game 4 at the Forum in Montreal. They want to do it tonight here at home. Sellout crowd again at the Boston Garden. Janney in there. And a penalty has been called against the Boston Bruins. The Canadiens will have the man advantage again.
Canada, men use an ancient form of communication to meet women. It's called making eye contact. Molson Canadian, the clean, cold taste of a genuine Canadian beer. What beer's all about.
The Bruins, Greg Haga, the little fire play of a guy out of the Kamloops Juniors, elbowing the call at 8:53. He's in the box. Another of those penalties away from the play, as we like to say. He got rid of the puck, and as the puck went across the ice, his elbow went up, and the Canadians go on their second power play.
LeBeau, Courtnall, Corson, Chelios, and Schneider. This is LeBeau, number 47. He shoots it in. Oh, tipped it into the corner, and Wesley there, and he finds the opening by Schneider to put it back inside the Canadian line. 20 seconds. Gone to the penalty. Canadians again. Come out. That pass, not a good one, and Wesley will send the Canadians back. Schneider leaves it with Courtnall. Skates away from Poulin, who thinks stopped the pass. Poulin just got a stick up and intercepted it. So far, the Canadians unable to get past center. 1:15 left of the penalty. Schneider. Now they're across the line. It's dumped in where Galley goes back against Corson. 3 Canadian players in there, and the Bruins come up with it. Poulin flipped it up to center ice. Burridge moving in. Gets a backhand and scores! Burridge on a backhander. Short-handed.
Randy Burridge scores, and for the second time in this series, the Bruins score the first goal of the game short-handed. Carter got one in game 3. Burridge does it here after the Canadians don't do anything once they get it in the zone. And a backhand handcuffs Patrick Waugh, Harry.
Yeah, Patrick Waugh should have had this. It wasn't a hard one. It was from a bad angle. It was just inside the post. You can't let goals in like that in this kind of a game. One of Montreal's problems, many problems on the power play, Dick, is recovering loose pucks in the offensive zone. They didn't then, and it cost them that goal.
So 1-0 Boston. On the Burridge goal, shorthanded at the 10-minute mark. Here is Bobby Smith. He's stopped near center. Got the puck back again, but Carpenter hammered it in to Waugh. Crowd getting on the Montreal goaltender early. Swoboda dancing to center ice. He follows up the play, but the Bruins doing a tremendous job killing this penalty. 20 seconds left in it now. Swoboda swings away from Carter. Canadians slide it out. Smith gets the line and goes in with a shot. That dribble just wide, came off a stick in front of Moog. He somehow saw it, reacted. Ludwig at the blue line. His pass goes in back to the net. Moog is out of the net again. And the Bruins clear it down the ice. It will be icing with Ludwig back to touch it. Poulin and Don Sweeney assisted on the goal by Burridge at the 10-minute mark.
The best things in life don't change. They just get better. Beeman's.
Randy Burridge, one of the many ex-Peterborough Beat juniors, now playing in the National Hockey League. With the game opener here tonight on the backhand, Canadians didn't have a shot on the power play. The Bruins had 2, and one of them, the backhand by Burridge, went into the net. And as Harry said, it wasn't exactly a hard shot either. Right here.
Backhands are hard to pick off coming off the blades of stick. But I still can't defend Patrick Waugh on that one.
Alley for Boston. Skates in front of the net. To the left side with the Canadiens. Walter knocked down at center. He was bumped by Bob Sweeney before he could make a play. Waugh to the net to stop it. Walter and Bob Sweeney bumped together away from the play. Armineau drops it back to Chelios. His pass nearly stopped by Sweeney. Now Sweeney is on it. For Christian. Christian dropped it. Burridge a shot. Deflected by Chelios. Chelios given a rough ride along the boards. Armineau out for Montreal. His pass to Ludwig, but that is offside. And the play is called again.
Well, any idea that the Bruins weren't going to be feisty, Ron Cherry was right on when he said that they'd be involved and they wouldn't be called wimps tonight. Cam Neely comes back after spending a long time in the first aid room.
1-0 Boston.
Staying ahead of the competition means staying ahead of the times.
Ford trucks, the best never rest.
And with ideas like an exclusive push-button four-wheel drive system on Ranger and the most advanced electronic automatic transmission on F-Series, Ford trucks are pulling away.
Ford trucks, the best never rest.
Now get 10.9% financing or $750 cash back on Canada's best-selling trucks.
Here's the latest on Cam Neely. He has a fat lip. Take a look. But he's back on the bench after having gone to the Boston dressing room to be patched up.
8 minutes, 5 seconds left in the first period. It is a 1-0 Boston lead. Goal by Burridge, shorthanded. Don Sweeney and Poulin. Morton skates around the net, makes the play out on the right side. Gould coming in. Tucked it into the corner and out of the net as Waugh again lifts it high. Came down to Bork. Knocked down by Carpenter and Gould. Fired into the corner, but that's a glove pass. They call it. So they'll bring it outside the line.
Well, Pat Burns, I thought Dick was in a very jovial mood this morning at the game day skate. He knows one thing, that the Boston Bruins know this game is the game they have to win unless they want to really, I think, play 7 games. Because I don't think they beat Montreal back in the Forum if the Canadiens won this one.
LeBeau on the draw. Puck goes right to Bork. Long shot gloved by Waugh. Gould in there. Gould picks it up. Back of the net is Carter. Carter out front trying to knock it in. On the short side, but Waugh covered up. Held it.
Canadiens almost got caught on a bad exchange between Patrick Waugh and his defense. Now we're going to have penalties called here. Players started to push, shove. Sticks got up. Burrell called something. Skated away quickly. Now he's stopped and is looking back. And I think there's 2 of them are going to go.
Eric Desjardins is going to get the initial penalty, and Corson and Bobby Gould are going to get the second 2. Montreal will be shorthanded. A dumb penalty as he punched the Boston player from behind well after the whistle had gone.
Corson really giving it to Morrell. No, Denny is not going to have a quiet night here. He's going to have another rough one. The way this has started. So that all happened after the whistle. And as I mentioned, the Canadiens had a very poor exchange between goaltender and defense that allowed the Bruins to get a chance, although not a difficult one for Waugh. And you see the Montreal coach a little more animated tonight by the look of it across the ice.
I can tell you what he's calling his players up and down the bench. He's saying we can't take those retaliation penalties. If it isn't worth the odd elbow and the snapper to win this hockey game, then we're in deep trouble.
12 minutes, 33 seconds. Montreal Shane Corson and Eric Desjardins. Boston County goal team score.
All roughing penalties.
33.
Desjardins, Corson, Gould of Boston.
Well, the Bruins are a man up, but No, they don't have a full complement out here right now anyway. Neely missed the last power play, being out of action because of the injury. Mulberry has decided. Here he comes, and the crowd responds, knowing that he had to miss some play because of the mouth injury. So he's back in action.
So Neely parked along the boards as the Bruins line up on this face-off to the right of Roy. Carpenter is in there to take it. Janney is on with him. Wesley and Bourque. So the 5 big guns for Boston on this power play again. Janney back to Bourque. Bourque takes the shot. Backs up a bit. Now gives it to Wesley. We go to Bourque again. The shot. Raw made the save. Chelios upended Carpenter on the puck. Chelios went after it. Stopped at the line by Wesley. To Bourque again. Bourque gives it to Janney. Janney hangs onto it. Take the shot. Moves in. Slides it in front. Neely's drive is blocked by Carbonneau.
And referee Morel was warning Chelios to stop the cross-checking in front of the net.
Bruins trying to move it over the line. There's another penalty coming up. It's going to be a high sticking penalty has been called. And let's see. I believe Carpenter will wait.
To protect your car's rubber, vinyl, and plastic from the elements, you could use Armor All Protectant and drive your car to work. Or you could just drive your car to work. Of course, there are alternatives, but only Armor All works like Armor All.
When Bobby Carpenter was going to the penalty box, Chris Chelios was and still is getting a lot of verbal abuse from Cam Neely. Now, if Cam Neely had been listening to Harry Neal about 15 minutes ago, he would understand that that wasn't Chris Chelios' stick that clipped him in the mouth that caused his injury. It was this fellow's stick, Bobby Carpenter.
But you know one thing, Dick. The sticks all taste the same.
Yeah, well, you said the white the tape is white on the Boston sticks.
It's hard to see that when it's in your mouth.
So the Bruins lose their advantage after 41 seconds of power play time, and the teams will now play 5-a-side.
And Boston leads 1-0. You've just joined us. Burridge, a shorthanded goal at the 10-minute mark from Don Sweeney and Poulin. A backhander by Burridge. On the stick side of Patrick Roy. Boston 1, Canadiens 0. Rock moves up over the Montreal line and dropped it to Poulin. His shot. He tried to put it in there for a deflection for Don Sweeney. It didn't work. Lemieux knocked flat by Bourque. That gets the crowd going again. Bourque couldn't get by Lemieux. Poulin comes in, faked the shot. Along the boards, got it back. Canadiens a chance to clear to get it out. Galley stops it near center ice. Backs it up to Don Sweeney. He flipped it in to the left of the net, and there, it's Schneider coming out. Schneider and Smith with Claude Lemieux. Schneider moving up over the line to Smith. Smith trying to go in. Lemieux bang on the shot. Christian starting Neely back. Neely in, and his drive is deflected wide of the goal. Good play by Dufresne who got back. Up over the Boston line, Bobby Smith running into traffic. Bruins Neely at center. Just didn't get away from a check thrown by Schneider. Here's a break for Christian. He missed the net. Christian was all alone and missed the net. Neely comes crashing into Desjardins Gilchrist. Swoboda moving up. Swoboda stopped at the line. Checked by Alan Peterson. Neely throwing his weight around. He hit 2 Canadiens on a 1 check and knocked them both flat. Chelios to Swoboda. Up to Peterson. In with a shot. Nice save by Moe. That was a good hard shot by Peterson. And Moe picked it out. 4:45 left in the first period. The Bruins lead 1-0. Canadiens Chelios up to Peterson again. Peterson going in, dropped it neatly to LeBeau, and he's hauled down. And the Bruins shoot it down the ice. Coming in is Sweeney, but Waugh saw him in time. Now Galley, he has stopped 3 Canadians on his break. LeBeau coming up with Peterson and Cardinal. Cardinal back in front, it's broken up, and the Bruins turn. Here's Poulin. He lost it in front of the goal. Dufresne checked him. Waugh stepping back for Dufresne. And Schneider. Carter took Schneider in on the glass. He kept charging in behind the Canadian defenseman and draped him pretty good. Carter is in there again. But it's Schneider with the puck and without the helmet. Pass missing Walter. 3:40 left in the period. Good fast pace to start this hockey game. Schneider behind the goal. Walter on the left wing. Coming out is Carbonneau. He is going in. Stopped by Moog. Carbonneau was stopped by Moog on a break. 3:20 left in the period. Canadians stay on it. And it goes high over the glass. And the crowd gets up to applaud their goaltender, Andy Moog.
Doing business means covering territory, and AGT Cellular offers more territory than anyone else in Alberta, plus nationwide coverage through Cellnet Canada. While some cellular coverage may fence you in, AGT Cellular takes you one step farther.
AGT, we bring your world to you.
Raymond Bourque is one of the best pass interceptors in the National League. But watch what happens when you gamble on the interception and you miss. Ryan Waller hits Carbonneau right on the tape, and then Andy Moog makes his best stop of this period to keep the score at 1-0.
That was only the 4th Canadian shot in the period. The Bruins have had 7. And the big stat is that the one by Burridge at the 10-minute mark went in. 1-0 Boston. Canadiens Desjardins and Swoboda. Desjardins skates with the puck. Gets by Christian. Keane, long shot. Hits the back of the net, and Galley takes it for Boston. To Christian. Christian had a breakaway for the Bruins and missed the net. Waugh snaps one down and gives it to Swoboda. Poulin watching him come out. Pass through the middle. It's tipped into the Boston zone. Galley is upended. Burridge bumped. The Bruins Christian coming in with Poulin. Poulin got the pass. Skated for the net. Put it in there. It was deflected by Christian and just missed. Gilchrist racing away with Cardinal. He is poke-checked up the line by Ray Bourque. 2:10 left of the period. Bourque's pass. The line was propped. Didn't carry on though, and the Canadiens again. With Chelios back. Lips a little pass out over the line. The Bruins knock it in again. Chelios with some time to move it. Up through the middle, it got by everybody. That is going to be icing. With Don Sweeney back to touch it, icing called against Montreal. 1:47 left. Period number 1.
And after that amount of play, we will go to our first intermission, and guess who will be in the coach's corner? The one-time boss man of the Bruins here in Boston, Don Cherry, along with Ron McLean. Try to leave this building, walk along through the lobby with Mr. Cherry. I know what it's like if you travel with Bruce Springsteen maybe or something. The mob scene, the autographs, the hey grapes.
Some of Springsteen's songs are just as difficult to understand as some of Cherry's coach's corner. In New York, it's 1-0 Washington.
There's Chelios being bumped by Neely again. Bruins press. Wesley's shot. Chelios, here comes Neely. Bumped him again. Carbonneau comes down for Canadiens. Walter's shot. That's blocked. Canadiens keep it in. Keane fired one in behind the net. Carbonneau on it, trying to center it. Along the boards, it's to the line, and now the Bruins get it out. Ludwig stop the prop pass. Galley up across center to Janney. Janney moving in. Neely going for the net. And Walter intercepts and skates out. Walter waiting for Keane. Trying a long shot. Oh, no problem. Less than a minute remaining as Bork makes a great move to come out. Bork up over the line. He handles the puck so beautifully. Now in along the board, drive it back. Standing on the shot was Gould, and the Canadiens get out. Here is Courtnall shooting, and Mould makes the save. Skrulin ran into Gould. Bork on the Bruins relieves the pressure and dumped into center ice. 30 seconds left of the period, and they're going to call this icing as Bork goes back to pick it up. 27 seconds left in the first period.
Well, Russ Courtnall, who we know has great speed to the outside, got his nose in the clear, not all the way in the clear. And, of course, Andy Moog knew that Courtnall wouldn't be cutting in, and look where he stands, right out at the top of the circular crease. And Russ Courtnall would have had to put it through him to score, and he couldn't.
Canadians have had the last 4 straight shots, but only the Carbonneau shot was close in. The others have all come.
Somebody's contact lens may have fallen onto the ice. And there's a hunt for it. You know, one of the best jobs in the United States, Dick, in the last 2 weeks of April and maybe longer, must be to be an usher here at the Boston Garden. The Celtics were in here against the Knicks last night. The Bruins in here tonight. The Knicks back here against the Celtics tomorrow night. Wouldn't this building, couldn't it tell a couple of great stories? And they found it.
Oh, they found it.
Kevin Collins, he never misses the offsides, and there gives you an example of why.
Well, it's playoff time at the Garden. You're right, Harry. The Bruins, the Celtics, who won last night 116-105. It's that time of year in Boston. Even the Red Sox are at home right now. Goodness gracious.
Bruins with that face-off inside the Canadian line. Carpenter, Carter and Gould, Yali and Wesley, the defenseman. Carbonneau will try to win it for Canadians. Brossiger, the linesman, drops it in, and Carbonneau indeed wins it. Back of the net. Canadians start out. Dufresne up to the line, slides it ahead for Corson. Carpenter got back, and Gould, and Carpenter gives it to Gould. Carter up on the play. Gould coming in. He got a hip check and went down. Bruins keep it in, though, not for long. Carbonneau to center, but time runs out on Carbonneau and the Canadiens in the first period. The shots turned out to be even in the first 20 minutes, 7 apiece. Burridge got the goal at the 10-minute mark. Sweeney and Poulin assisting, and the score at the end of the first period then is the Boston Bruins 1, Montreal Canadiens 0.
Wherever you drive, Michelin's provide the kind of easy handling, comfort, and security that make all your trips a breeze. Michelin, the most reliable value on the road today. Michelin.
The best control of wild oats and green foxtail. Ask for whole grass from Herbst.
Doing business means covering territory, and AGT Cellular offers more territory than anyone else in Alberta, plus nationwide coverage through Cellnet Canada. While some cellular coverage may fence you in, AGT Cellular takes you one step farther.
AGT, we bring your world to you.
How are you going to know that the truck you're buying is tough? Well, I'll tell you. It's got to have a cargo box that's bolted to the frame and not just welded. It's got to have twin I-beam suspension. Oh, yeah. and make sure it'll fit your camper. Of course, the easiest thing is to look for the Ford nameplate. Ford's F-Series is tough with a 6-year, 100,000-kilometer powertrain warranty, plus a great deal when you buy now. If it ain't a Ford, it don't deserve the name truck.
What remembers me of the song? Moo, cows make milk. It's the only drink that I adore, that we adore. And the moon shines over the cows' shed. We hope the cows are making plenty more. Plenty more.
Michelin all-season performance ratings. That extra something for people who choose the fast lane. Michelin, the most powerful value on the road today. Michelin.
This is a CBC Calgary news break. Well, a big break for renters in Airdrie. Earlier this week, about 60 families renting houses from the Alberta Mortgage and Housing Corporation were told that they'd have to move out. Well, today the province apologized for that and promised renters they won't be thrown out of their homes. Russell Outred reports.
It's not hard to find a house being sold here, but it's not hard to find a house being sold by Alberta Mortgage and Housing. And for every house being sold, there's another 3 being rented. And tenants have been getting letters telling them they can buy the houses they are renting or expect to get eviction notices. Helen Hampton got a letter, and she got worried because Airdrie has very little for rent. She complained to her MLA, and she got this answer.
And I can't tell you where the glitch was. All I know that is that the president of the corporation immediately responded. She sent a memo saying, hold all of it. There will be no notices given to people that they're going to have to move out. And especially, one of the main reasons is that there aren't other rental properties available in Airdrie for families such as some of the ones who contacted me.
I feel much better, but again, I need confirmation. I can't get excited yet. I need confirmation in writing or through another source, or
that you won't be evicted.
That we won't be evicted. Not now and not in the next 6 or 8 months.
The Housing Corporation is by far and away the biggest landowner in this city. It owns 107 properties, and it has 61 families renting. For now, those families will get a reprieve. They're being assured they won't be evicted. Russell Outred, CBC News, Airdrie.
Well, Steve Rothfels is out on the roof. Steve, I hear we're in for some pretty bad weather.
Well, it isn't so great right now, Kathy. We have some drizzle with some snow flurries mixed in for good measure. The snow really won't begin in earnest until after dark tonight, and it'll continue all day tomorrow right through to Sunday morning.
Yikes. How much are we going to get, Steve?
I think in Calgary we can expect about 15 centimeters by Sunday morning. Now, certainly that'll be heavier in areas to the west and south of us. In areas to the north and east, we'll probably see lesser amounts. If you get far enough south, we don't have to talk quite about California, but southern Alberta, maybe even some rain mixed in too.
Ooh, what about highways? They must be bad. We got 4 seconds left.
Yeah, they're going to be bad because temperatures will be around freezing, a little icy at night.
Okay, Steve, thanks a lot, and we'll have details of news, weather, and sports right after the hockey game.
Hi, Hank. Experimenting again?
Yeah, with this drawstring garbage bag.
Oh, glad tie and toss garbage bags, eh?
Yeah, they're easy to close, but I think I found a way so they close themselves. Here, hold this. Here we go. See how easy?
Easy and darn strong. But you know, Hank, they do fit in the garbage can.
Great.
Glad tie and toss garbage bags. Take the easy way out.
Dr. Brenda Bass, pediatrician.
A baby's skin pH level is very sensitive to urine, so my priority is to help Morgan keep her skin dry and healthy.
This diaper works differently. Liquid is quickly absorbed, creating cushions of air. Skin stays so dry, even powder won't stick. Watch. The diaper, Pampers. The difference, the air-dry system.
I recommend Pampers.
Ultra Pampers Plus, because healthy skin begins with dry skin.
When your car's original parts start to fall apart, choose Motomaster, Canada's #1 selling replacement parts. There's only one brand of motor oil that goes faster than the rest. Motomaster motor oil outsells Quaker State or Castrol. Motomaster, Canada's #1 selling motor oil.
MotoMaster. Built tough, back tough. Available at Canadian Tire.
Oh.
Okay, get those checks up. Smile for the camera. That's it. Get those checks up. Big smile.
Yes!
Perfect. That was great.
Coach's Corner is brought to you by Pepsi. It's got what it takes.
Wow.
Careful, those are priceless.
Excuse me. Change for the Pepsi machine?
Oh, sure.
Thanks.
Anytime.
Tastes like a million.
Close.
What to do over here?
Hey, there's a problem with one of the cameras. It's been a funny series we had.
Yeah, I guess it has.
The power go out in Toronto. You don't have the microphone. I have the microphone. Wait your turn. Go ahead.
Get him out. All right, listen, I'm getting a little tired.
Come on in. Fix that camera.
I'm getting a little, yeah, the guy's going to fix his camera while I'm on television.
We need that camera. The game's coming up, second period.
This is only 3 minutes, eh?
Go ahead.
I'm getting sick and tired of hearing guys talk about college hockey players in the States. Now, let's take a look at the scores. Top scorers in the National Hockey League last year, 18 out of 20 were from junior Canadian hockey. 14 out of the top 15 drafts are Canadian junior hockey. Okay? So don't give me that.
Well, how can you argue with the success of the U.S. colleges, though? Boston has 12 players in their system. 2 of them are from Petrolia, where the Hunters hail from, and you like that. The Bruins are first overall, and they're now leading the Montreal Canadiens, the best team still alive in the playoffs based on regular season record.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying you don't.
And perhaps Canada will see the light and will be able to get scholarship programs for talent, much like they have in the U.S.
Whoa, no, just a minute. No, we have better things to do with our money than to give it to young Canadian hockey players for their education. We've got millions to give away to Caribbeans and stuff.
Well, those are good causes.
Oh, sure they are. Yeah, you know, they got to come down here to the States to get an education.
It's nice.
Our kids, yeah, it is. It's great. It's too bad that we don't do something for our young Canadian boys born in Canada. Now, this is the way Boston Bruins should play, the way they're playing. They're playing super. I love it. And I'm sure that meeting they had last night had something to do with it. And that's the best period so far in the series. But how about Pat Burns? He goes over the power play, killing penalties, regular shift. What are you going to do when you're always getting scored on your power play? There's nothing you can do. I mean, that's criminal.
Did you think it was a bad goal?
No, it was a super backhand. It was super, you know, just dumb. The power play, what happens here? I was talking to a couple of Canadians. They practice it so much, and they're so tight. Like I said 2 games ago, they got it up here. We'll never score. Let's not hope we get scored on. That's the way they'll go out the power play.
Ronald Corey, president of the Canadiens, wasn't all that happy with you prior to the game over at the souvenir stand.
Now, wait a minute. What happened there? It was, he was mad. Well, he was just kidding. I've got a little, give me that sweater, Dave. What happened was, it's for blue. It's for blue. It was a Boston Bruin, and it wasn't me. Do you think I can get fit inside size?
Well.
I like Pat Burns. I'm not. I hope the best team wins. I love Pat Burns.
It was a hat. What about Chicago, St. Louis?
Am I the only guy in the world who's noticed Greg Gilbert? Would somebody please do something about that? This guy was not off the ice. I don't care the last 10 minutes of the game. This guy is their powerhouse right now. He is their rock, and nobody seems to be bringing it out. He is something. I'll tell you that. Belfour's coming through.
Who do you like, Sutter or Keenan?
I like them both. I like them both, but I've known Keenan longer, but I like them both. It's too bad one of them's got to lose.
Right,
suck me in again, right?
No, I just think that Brian's done a nice job, and I know you like Mike. And I also know it's about 100 degrees in the Boston Garden, but it's the college degrees that have grapes upset in this installment of the Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner is brought to you by Pepsi. It's got what it takes.
York Islanders finally got off the ground. The longest televised overtime in history tonight on Ford's Great Moments in Hockey.
Are you impressed that Ford F-Series and Ranger are the best-selling trucks? We're not.
Ford trucks, the best never rest.
We keep making our trucks better. Because while the competition is trying to keep up with us, we're busy keeping up with tomorrow.
Ford trucks, the best never rest.
Now get 10.9% financing or $750 cash back on Canada's best-selling trucks.
April 18th, 1987 belonged to Bob Mason and Kelly Rudy. Appearing in only his 4th career playoff game, Bob Mason sparkled in goal for the Washington Capitals. Kelly Rudy, the heir apparent to Billy Smith, was equally brilliant for New York. Together they faced over 130 shots before Pat LaFontaine ended their epic confrontation.
To the line, LaFontaine shot, he scores! LaFontaine at the blue line, here in the 4th overtime.
With that goal, the Islanders eliminated the Caps in Game 7 of the '87 Patrick Final. Great Moments in Hockey is presented by Ford of Canada.
In Canada, a beer must be clean and cold. And it must have a genuine Canadian taste. Molson Canadian. What beer's all about.
New SO Protec engine oil with LXT. More stable, flows faster to help protect your engine even in extreme heat or cold.
Hoods up, 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 Protec.
SO Protec. Don't wait until your car demands it.
We'll be right back after these messages.
It slices, it dices, it julie and fries. So hurry into
Traffic is really backed up in the downtown core. It is bumper to bumper.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Disc Drive from CBC Stereo. I'm Jurgen Goth.
Disc Drive, weekdays at 3 on CBC Stereo. It's radio without all the racket.
When it comes to lawn and garden, there's no place like home. Because home's more than helpful hints. It's finding the things you need most. Reliable brand names like Scott's, Home Gardener, and Melner. And the right prices. So remember, when it comes to lawn and garden, there's no place like home.
Home hardware, home of the handyman.
We couldn't call ourselves experts if we didn't have Brooks Hydroflow.
This portion of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC has been brought to you by Ford of Canada, where quality is more than a commitment. Quality is job one.
Bob Cole with Harry Neal and Dick Irvin in the broadcast booth again here at the Boston Garden. And here's your score. The Bruins lead it 1-0. Burridge, the shorthanded goal. At the 10-minute mark from Poulin and Don Sweeney, the shots were even 7 apiece. The penalties were even 4 apiece.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens have to play a lot better period than they did in period 1 if they want to stay alive and prolong this series to a 6th game. The Boston Bruins had the upper edge for most of the period, and although the shots were 7-7, Andy Moog had to make about 2 tough stops.
Number 12 of the Bruins, Randy Burridge, with the only goal of the period. The backhand, shorthanded, 1-0 Boston. And the second period is underway. Chelios pushed the puck in right away, and Burridge hit Chelios as Moog covers up. Chelios has been on the receiving end of about a half dozen pretty good hits so far in the game.
Ron McLean mentioned it was 100 degrees in the Boston Garden. Well, it's a turn of phrase. There's a fellow behind us with a thermometer who told us during the intermission it's got up to 80.
But where Andy Moog is in the goal crease, it's probably about 100. There was so much water after the Zamboni got through. Harry wanted to cool out, go down, do the backstroke for a while, dive in. Water on the ice.
Strudland with Gilchrist and Lemieux.
Well, the Heat, don't forget, these players got about 30 pounds of equipment on, Bob, and that makes it even hotter.
Chelios and Ludwig at the line. This shot will go high into the crowd, off a stick in front of the Boston net.
Claude Lemieux, I thought, has played his best game of the playoffs in Game 4. He's had a very frustrating year, missing almost a little more than the first half of it. No training camp. Trying to get over that abdominal muscle tear that seems to be inflicting a player on every team. Chelios is going to get an operation after the season to fix his.
Boston controlling on this faceoff. Bourque quickly moved it up for Poulin, who was hit by Ludwig. Poulin chased him. Chelios. Poulin in there forechecking. The Bruins get the puck near center. Poulin knifed it into the Montreal zone. Ludwig and Chelios again. Chelios up the center, and he hit Strudland with the pass, but he couldn't control it. Wesley takes over. Lemieux stopped him. Put it on to the stick of Gilchrist. Here's the shot that's nowhere near the net along the ice. Chelios centered it. Lemieux at the far side. Gilchrist gets ready, takes the shot. Lemieux at the side of the net and centered again. And Galley now starting the Bruins up. Christian and Burridge. Burridge up over the line. There's Christian! And Raw comes up with a big save on Christian. That's twice he's been home free tonight. On the other occasion, he missed the net. Lemieux getting Peterson riled up a little bit.
Peterson's getting a penalty.
Peterson lost it just for a second as he collided with Lemieux and then punched him in the head.
Well, some pretty good chances here in the early going at both ends of the rink. Here's Gilchrist for the Canadiens. Oh, makes a good stop, and Lemieux at the side of the net tried to jam it home on the short side. At the other side, here we come with Burridge in the center.
Nice pass by Burridge. Donald Dufresne turned the wrong way and allowed Dave Christian to pour in off the wing. I don't know whether he didn't see him or he stumbled or lost a step, but Patrick Waugh had to make a big save.
So there's the call on Peterson, roughing on Claude Lemieux early in this second period.
So a minor penalty to the Bruins as we start off the second period. The Canadiens have Corson, LeBeau, and Courtnall left to right. Schneider and Swoboda, the defenseman. Bourque on the ice with Galley, and Galley shoots it down the ice. Poulin and Propp have been doing a lot of penalty killing for the Bruins. They're on there now. Canadiens can't get out. That's Propp. He nearly hit Poulin with a pass.
They did a great job, don't you remember, in Philadelphia together on the special penalty killing team.
Here is LeBeau up over center, and he gave it away. The Boston line. Poulin just calmly fired at the length of the ice. 1:30 left in the penalty. Canadian Swoboda up for Courtnall. He was behind everybody, but the pass didn't get there. Propp moving up with Poulin. Poulin going in, and it's up high again. The Bruins come very close while killing a penalty. They have the only goal in the game from Burridge in the first period in this situation.
Well, who's got the penalty? You have to ask that question again about the Canadiens when they are a man to the good. Dave Poulin, the scoring hero in Game 1 with the only goal in a 1-0 game. Missed most of Game 2 with a shoulder injury suffered early in the piece and gets a chance here. And it's Raymond Bourque again at the blue line, but the Philadelphia combination, those out of the playoff Philadelphia Flyers. Harry used to employ these two fellas. Poulin, backhand seemed to go off Patrick Waugh's stick arm.
Well, Schneider took a step the wrong way and hesitated for a second. That allowed Propp to tip the puck past him to give the Boston Bruins the 2-on-1 that gave Poulin that backhand chance.
Now Carpenter and Carter are the forwards out there. Galley and Wesley, the defenseman for Boston. 1:12 left in the penalty. Peterson is in the penalty box. The Canadiens trail the Bruins 1-0. LeBeau shoots it in. Lowe got to the net. Courtnall went after the puck. Chelios stopped it for LeBeau. LeBeau at the blue line, wrapped it in wide of the goal. There's Wesley trying to clear. Cardinal couldn't stop it. It's out over the line again. A break for Carter. Carter coming up there with a shot. Lone rebound. And Raw had to stop him again. Bang, bang. 2 shots from Carter. And he gets a big hand. These Bruins are dangerous while short-handed. 3 great chances. Here's a shot by Desjardins missing. Cardinal in the corner. Flipped it back of the net. LeBeau centered it. Morrison was covered. LeBeau again in the corner to Cardinal. Cardinal along the boards. LeBeau has to help him. Chelios flipped it in there for LeBeau. LeBeau the other way. Nice play. Side of the net. Cardinal is stopped by Bogey. Centered it. Chelios is going to keep it in. He got away from Carter. Chelios in. Can't get a shot. Wesley fell in front of it. And Cardinal missed it. And the penalty is over. The Bruins have killed another one. They had 3 good scoring chances while they were killing that penalty. Now Lemieux. His hard shot blocked by Mold. It's Chelios centering the puck. Back of the net. Galley fired it on the boards and got it out. And Prop is going in there. He is chasing in front of the net. And a penalty coming up against the Canadiens on that play. The Bruins will go to the power play. We'll be right back after this message.
Mark and Katie had outgrown their starter house. Well, they decided to sell it themselves, but when they didn't get any serious buyers, they kept lowering their price. They finally got a buyer, but the contract fell through, so they came to me. I suggested a few minor improvements and brought over qualified buyers. That house sold in no time for more than they ever expected to get.
The right agent makes all the difference in the world. Realty World.
Well, Donald Dufresne in the penalty box where he was at that much talked about moment late in the 3rd period Saturday. And Neely got the game-tying goal. Here he is now dumping Prop, but Harry with the Canadiens defense being pressured and backing up. One of 2 things seemed about to happen, a Boston goal or a Montreal penalty.
Donald Dufresne has had a bit of a tough night so far. He had the puck originally just inside his own blue line, but lost it and then had to trip the Boston player to prevent a possible goal.
Only goal so far, shorthanded effort by Burridge of the Bruins at the 10-minute mark of the opening period. Boy, did they ever have chances on their last shorthanded situation. Waugh had to make 2 beauties on Carter. And Christian was in again. But it's still 1-0 Boston. Canadiens get it out. Carbonneau flipped the pass. And now Keane to Carbonneau with a shot, a high one. And he just missed. Janney for Boston. Back to center. Neely on the move on the right wing. Drop back to Galley. Galley to Bork. Bork back for Galley a little too far. And the Canadiens clear it out and down the ice. Keane wants to go off. So does Carbonneau. Bork of the Bruins to Galley. Slipped it into the corner. It'll come back on the other side to Janney. And Neely is there. Neely is stopped. Canadiens get it out over the line where Neely picked it up again. Galley didn't see the pass from Bork. 55 seconds left in the Montreal penalty. Bruins 1, Canadiens nothing. Here's Bork. The crowd cheering. Bork goes in with a shot to the corner, hoping that might ricochet out front. It did not. Canadiens again. Skrulin will bring it out of the zone. Up to Walter. Cross center, and he slapped it in on the net. Janney coming out. Bruins a little disorganized, trying to get started. Skrulin forcing Wesley back. Now Wesley from Bork. To center ice, he'll try the long shot. Waugh saw it all the way, and the Bruins were offside with 16 seconds left in the Dufresne penalty.
Always interesting to get a fan reaction in a situation like this. Montreal doing a good job here killing this penalty, and the fans start to get on the Bruins. And that's what makes players get uptight. They tell you that. Everybody starts yelling, shoot, shoot. So they do.
Well, quite often, this power play statistics are not as good at home for some teams as on the road for that very reason. Montreal can't say that, though, can they, Dick?
Take your pick with them this year.
The second period has been the best period for the Boston Bruins in this series. They've outscored Montreal 7 goals to 3.
Shots are even here in the second, 4 apiece. Score remains 1-0 Boston. Poole and Burridge, Christian for the Bruins. 14 seconds left on their power play. They'll have to hurry. Beers comes back, and Galley waits at the left point coming out. There's Beers going to the right side for Burridge. Burridge slapped it across. Christian couldn't stop it. Dufresne on the ice again. Penalty served. Carbonneau has to wait. Circling at center. Keane trying to move outside the line. Carbonneau doing a pretty good job, now lost it. And Christian in there, but the play is called. There's a penalty against the Boston Bruins. Carbonneau was upended near his own blue line. And the Bruins Poulin goes.
As a world leader in performance technology, Honda engineers have learned many valuable lessons. Our latest Honda features a highly responsive overhead valve engine and our newest innovation, the hydrostatic transmission. Further proof that Honda engineers have never been content to just stand around and watch the grass grow.
We've had more than one occasion tonight when players doing a good job at something draw the other team into a penalty. Guy Carbonneau had the puck for a while and does a pretty good job. He had to wait because Mike Keane was knocked down by Randy Burridge and was way offside. So Carbonneau hangs on. Poulin gets a little frustrated, makes a good sideline tackle, but it cost him 2 minutes in a hockey game.
Well, Poulin's the best penalty killer for the Bruins, but he won't help them on this one.
Carter and Carpenter will try to help them. Bork and Peterson are the defensemen for Boston. Peterson stopped Lemieux. Chelios stopped the puck. Put it into the side of the net. Bobby Smith takes it up in the corner. Left it for Peterson. Around the net and out to the line. Swoboda to Chelios. Takes his shot. And Peterson came close. Now Carpenter turns and rifles it the length of the ice. 1:30 left of the penalty. Canadians trying to tie the hockey game. On this power play, Peterson stopped by Bork quite easily. Carpenter lost it. Bobby Smith, Lemieux in front. Smith to Lemieux, and he rifled it wide of the goal. He was set up all right, but missed the net. Swoboda moving up. Now Chelios, the drive. That's deflected wide of the goal. Again, Chelios at the blue line. Swoboda, checked by Carter. Chelios in the slot, Lemieux. Lemieux stops. Smith shoots. And Moog makes the save. With 52 seconds left in the Poulin penalty, the Canadians come close. That's all. Come close.
Well, they moved the puck around a lot better there in that little sequence. Bobby Smith has 1 goal in 10 playoff games, none in this series, and he only has 15 shots in the 10 games he's played this year. He's had a disastrous season. 20 of his 26 points at the Forum are way off the mark, and that's one of the reasons why the Montreal Canadiens are down 3-1. Here's the real reason, one of them, why the Boston Bruins are playing well.
13 minutes on the ice, first period.
Desjardins gets loose, sets it up, in there, LeBeau, and Moog stops it again. LeBeau was set up right in front of the net and couldn't beat Andy Moog.
Well, this has been the best Canadiens power play of the night, maybe of the series, from the standpoint of pressure, Harry, and scoring chances. And LeBeau was in tight right there.
Well, a nice passing play from Desjardins, who stepped past the penalty-killing forward right there and stuck it in. And LeBeau tries to go between the legs, and Andy thinks it got there. But you can see it didn't.
Good save by Moog. 45 seconds left on the penalty. Desjardins to Courtnall. Desjardins lost it. And that's going to be offside. It just got out. Kevin Collins at the far side flagged it down right away.
Well, the only thing on that last play that was better than the pass and the save was the camera work by our camera down in the corner. Super shot.
Well, LeBeau's a playmaker out there, and that's what Montreal lack. Very few of their forwards can be accused of having a lot of skill in that department. Some of them are pretty good one-on-one. There's a lot of good checkers. There's some toughness and size, but there aren't many playmakers.
Now they're missing their best stick handler and one-on-one man in Stefan Richer. No question.
Schneider steps up to the line. He could not go in. Christian is breaking it up and going again. Christian's shot deflected by Desjardins into the crowd. That will bring about a face-off in the Montreal end with 27 seconds left in the Boston penalty.
Must seem like a long time ago. Dave Christian was a member of that Do You Believe in Miracles U.S. 1980 gold medal winning hockey team. But he's been in the National Hockey League ever since. It was 13 seconds into his first game, less than a week, or I guess a week to the day after they won the gold medal, that he scored his first NHL goal. And he has traveled from the Jets to the Capitals and now has found a home here in his native New England area, Boston.
He's had some great chances already in this hockey game. The only goal scorer, Burridge of the Bruins, at the 10-minute mark of the first.
People in War Road will be mad at you. That's where Dave's from.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
From the blue line, Sweeney. A shot deflected on the glass.
That didn't sound right.
Bruins stay on top of it. Knocked down in front by Corson. He can't get it out. Swoboda has to back up with only 10 seconds left in the Boston penalty. Swoboda to center ice. Chelios in wide of the net it goes. LeBeau on it. Bump in the corner by Galley. Poulin is out of the penalty box. Bruins at full strength. They shoot it down the ice. Chelios going for it. It's icing. Chelios is back. He got the elbow up out of the corner of his eye. He saw Hoggood coming in rather quickly. And Hoggood ran right into it.
Just cool it. Just cool it. There's $4 million to be won in Diet Pepsi's playoff pool.
Big bucks.
Now look here. Check under the caps of Pepsi and 7-Up products. If, for instance, it says Edmonton in 6 and they win the playoff final in 6, you could win $10,000, $10, or free Diet Pepsi. Now hit the ice, you guys. Play Diet Pepsi's $4 million playoff pool. Can you believe these guys?
Now we've had a hassle after the fact here. Just a lot of talking and milling about, but I think penalties have been called. Hoggood and Courtnall have gone to the penalty box, likely for unsportsmanlike conduct. But on that play, Patrick Roy banged his stick on the ice as Chelios was going back to get the puck for the icing to warn him that Hoggood was chasing him. See, now Patrick Roy will now just put a little arm out toward Hoggood, and Chelios puts the hand out toward Hoggood, and that's what started all of that. And you see Mr. Byers, number 34, not far from the scene.
This was the first shift for the so-called fourth line for the Bruins. And I wouldn't go so far as to say that Mr. Milbury suggested it, but I think that they'd trade anybody off that fourth line to get Russ Courtnall off the ice for 2 minutes. Montreal Canadiens have to be aware of that. I'm sure Pat Burns is and is talking to him already about it.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalties to Hoggood and Courtnall. Teams remain at full strength. Washington continues to lead the New York Rangers in the second period. Caps trying to wrap up that series. The Bruins trying to wrap up this series. Bob Beers behind his own goal for the Boston Bruins to Wesley. The Beers in front of the net. Skrudland was there very close. Canadians pick it up. Peterson slapped it back in. And Wesley goes in around the net. He sees Skrudland coming after him. Wesley out with a pass up across center ice. And that is offside to Bob Sweeney. It'll come back inside the Boston line.
You got to know how to score them. Know when to score them. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. It's one heck of a great brew. Brew I'll be holding when the hockey game is over and the winning's all in the down.
Pilsner, it's a heck of a brew.
Well, tomorrow night, the North Division Final continues at the arena in St. Louis, where the Blackhawks will try to put the Blues away. And Hockey Night in Canada will have it for you, 8:30 Eastern Time. Don Whitman and Scotty Bowman will be there.
Skoglund on the puck. He missed it. Now a shot from a sharp angle by Lemieux. Blocked by Beers. Lemieux stopped by Beers behind the net. And the Bruins can't get it out. On the boards. It's not near the line and just dribbles out over the blue line. Gilchrist played it back to the zone line. Schneider. Pass to the far side to Frame. Up across center. Knocked it in. Lemieux bump, but here's Skoglund. Back to the line. Schneider! And a shot deflected wide. A lot of shots being blocked. Refrain. Stopped Sweeney from moving on the puck. Wow, flipped it up on the boards. Pass near center, missing Keane. And as Bourque goes back to touch it, that's icing against Montreal as they near the halfway mark of the second period.
Montreal out shooting Boston in this period so far 6-5. And Harry, they've been unlucky. Matthew Schneider let one go. I don't think it counted as a shot on goal, but they've had their chances to wind up and fire, much more so in this second period than in the first period.
Well, they can't seem to get any point shots through. And you're right, Dick. The ones that do get halfway to the net end up deflecting. And here's a good example right here. You can see it hit Dave Poulin, I think, and deflected up over Andy Moog. Boy, when you're playing two defensemen the age of Dufresne and Schneider together, you may hold your breath on the bench the odd time.
Keane on the boards. Knocked off stride by Peterson, who came in. Kept coming and hit him. Pile of players in the corner. The puck finally gets out. Bruins are on it. Peterson to Janney. He had to flip it off to the corner again. Here's Neely back of the goal, trying to dig it out. At the far side now, and Ludwig has him trapped. Canadians, three players skating to center. Harmonal hands it off to Keane. He can't find any room against Bourque. Harmonal back there. Walter comes in for Montreal. It is Keane missing it, and Chelios stopping it. Flipped it back of the net again to Harmonal. Harmonal centered it. Keane over there, bumped by Peterson. The Bruins get out. The pass to the line. Bourque lost it. And now it's shot too high at the Canadiens bench. And hit a player over there, and the crowd reacted.
Nobody knows more about foreign and domestic exhaust systems than Midas, which means you get expert service, the Midas muffler guarantee, and a great price. And you never need an appointment. Nobody tops the Top Guns. Nobody.
The choice is yours. Go to Midas this week for brake, exhaust, or suspension work worth $80 and clean up with a $30 Black & Decker Dustbuster for only $9.99. Only until May 12th and only at Midas. Nobody tops the Top Guns. Nobody.
Well, Mike Milbury and the Bruins are popular. Games 3 and 4 from Montreal on the television ratings drew figures more than double those on any other Boston channel between the hours of 7:30 and 10:30 on those two evenings.
This time of year, it's all Bruins in Boston. And they hope to continue on into the month of May. They have a chance to wrap it up in this series tonight against Montreal. Leading now 1-0. 9:20 left in the second period. Pass to LeBeau. LeBeau stopped near center. He's on it again, though. LeBeau comes in. Got across the line. Don Sweeney stopped him. Long pass that Carter saw coming. He got it out over the line. Swoboda feeding it ahead. Portnoy dropped it back to him. Swoboda has to back up against Gould and Carpenter. Swoboda's pass. Desjardins to center. Long shot. Off the net. It's on the mesh. And they didn't wait. They called it right away. And they'll bring it out.
Now, there's been lots of questions around the National League for a long time. Why can the Boston Bruins be the hardest working team in the league? And Bobby Gould made a good point. He said all teams in the NHL envy the Bruins' work habits. I know we did in Washington, he said. What is it? Why is it? How is it? Here's his answer. On this team, the three stars, Bourque, Neely, and Janney, are the hardest workers we have. So what choice do I and the rest of my teammates have but to try and outwork our stars? And of course, that's not true on every team, and that, well, may be the reason, starting way back with Bobby Orr.
Don Sweeney plays it back. Wesley can't get it out. LeBeau stopped it again, but lost control. Carpenter whipped it past up. Carter was looking the other way. Now he's chasing Swoboda. Carter fell at the side of the net. The Bruins keep it in, though. Talk about a work habit. This is Carter. He's on the puck. Back to Don Sweeney. Side of the net. Carpenter in front of the goal. Carter. Here's Carpenter. And Waugh saw that somehow. But the Bruins are really pressing. Another shot. Waugh down. And he keeps the puck out. With the net going off the Maggots. And everybody piling in.
And Bobby Gould is hurt. He just got up. As he took that shot, he was leveled. And of course, the Montreal Canadiens are upset with John Carter, I think it is, who fell over Patrick Waugh as he was trying to dig the puck out from underneath the pads of the Montreal goalie.
There's quite a media war going on between the two cities and the newspapers. And the most talked about aspect of the game in Montreal the other night was when Chelios hit Moog. The Bruins didn't respond, knocked them down. So this might be fresh in a lot of people's minds when you see this sequence when Patrick Waugh ends up in the middle of it. There's Gould in front, as Harry said. He's hurt, having trouble getting up. And now Patrick Waugh's in the middle of the muddle right there.
Well, do you know what agoraphobia is, Dick?
No, I have no idea.
It's the fear of crowds. And if you have even the slightest of symptoms, you can't play in this game or many in the Boston Garden, especially around the net. Your life is worth but a plug nickel if you stand there for any more than a one steamboat count.
Well, Patrick got it. The net got it. Knocked off the moorings. They're fixing it up there. There's a fellow from Boston writing in one of the papers who made his first visit to Montreal in this series and wrote just the stupidest thing you'd ever see about Montreal. The city, the food, the climate. The men don't know how to dress properly. The women don't know how to put on their makeup. That was his whole column. So obviously he doesn't know much about hockey when you read it. The Montreal press has responded. The war continues. Harry thought before the game if the players showed the same intensity as the newspaper men, we'd have a dandy. Well, tonight they are.
8 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second period. The only goal in the game so far by Burridge of Boston at the 10-minute mark of period number 1. And that came while the Bruins were shorthanded. Randy Burridge from Don Sweeney and Dave Poulin. Face-off now to the left of Patrick Waugh. Neely comes in to take it against Smith. Smith wins it. Fraying around the net for Claude Lemieux. To center ice. Long shot. Up over the net. Neely back. Canadians are making changes. So he had lots of time to clear it up. There's a penalty coming up. In behind the play. Lemieux hit Neely. And I think he's going off. Claude Lemieux, high sticking.
Kraft Light, with less than half the fat of regular mayonnaise, just got better. It now has no cholesterol. Kraft Light mayonnaise type dressing. It's cholesterol free, so you can feel good about good taste.
Take a trip that doesn't require schedules, reservations, or even a destination.
Vladimir in the penalty box, obviously upset. Watch the bottom right corner of your screen for a quick shot of why he gets the penalty. Right there. Neely passed the puck ahead. Lemieux ran into him. The thud against the boards was rather severe, and the Bruins are on the power play.
Nobody has been able to do much at all on the power play tonight in this hockey game. Bruins, the shorthanded goal on the Canadiens. Misfire. They were trying to get something going. Had lots of chances. Came up empty. And Burridge scored. Here's Wesley now. Back to the net. Prop. Bork is at the line. Doesn't shoot. Wesley fires it in back of the goal. It's centered again. Carbonell racing forward. And the play is stopped as the net in behind. Waugh is gone again.
And Craig Janney's complaining bitterly that Patrick Waugh did it all by himself. But I'm not sure he's going to get anywhere with this complaint. Denny Morrell was busy watching the puck go around the boards out to the point.
Well, we talk a lot about Craig Janney on our shows. He's one of those fellows Don Cherry was referring to, but he's an American, collegiately trained, and he was an All-American at Boston College here in the Boston area. Joined the Bruins right out of the U.S. Olympic team following the Calgary games. Get a lot of injuries off and on. Now, what's going on here? This is how the net gets knocked off. Craig Ludwig grabs the post as he gets up. That's what happened. Harry's averaged about a point a game in his career from the time he came up from the Olympic team. League and playoff action.
Face off to the left of Roy. Bruins with a man advantage. So the Canadians shoot it to the line. They do not get it out. Carbonneau didn't see it. Now he does. And Ludwig is going to send the Bruins back. See, ripped it in. Bounced out front to Keane. Gets a shot. And Mold reaching out with the left skate made a save. And that was a big save. Wesley to Janney. Janney to Neely. Going for the net. Neely centered it. Oh, and he just missed prop. Wesley up the line. Carbonneau nearly knocked it away from him. Janney again. Fake the pass. Now Wesley. Wesley coming in. Doesn't shoot it. Wesley again. A crowd in front of the net. The shot clubbed by Waugh. Over the net it goes. And Wesley again. 30 seconds left of this power play, Boston. They're leading 1-0. Janney fires one in. Raw sensational save on Ray Bourque. It's centered. Bruins keep it in there. Janney setting it up again. Janney waits. Crowd hollers, shoot. Wesley shoots. And then stopped. Ricochets off to the corner. 10 seconds left of the penalty. Keane trying desperately to get it out. Look at that move by Carbonneau diving to knock it out. Now Lemieux off his penalties on the ice again. Canadians kill another penalty. It's cleared down the ice. However, unless Lemieux can play it, he cannot. Galley does. And that is iced. All against Montreal.
Well, Claude Lemieux's been in a nasty mood ever since he got that penalty. I've often thought that the worst-tempered people are those who know they're wrong there. Do you think that's true with Claude Lemieux? Carbonneau makes a nice play here. But when doesn't Carbonneau make a nice play when he's killing a penalty?
Now, penalty killers on both teams tonight deserve a lot of credit. Carbonneau having another big game. Will he win the Selke Trophy again? He'll certainly be one of the prime candidates, I'm sure.
5 minutes, 47 seconds left in the second period. The Boston Bruins trying to wrap up the series tonight. They lead it 3-1. Are ahead in this game 1-0. Beers from the line. Shot, rebound. Shot! Sensational goaltending by Patrick Roy. He is hanging the Canadians in there. A shot from the line he saw. The rebound he saw. Then another one he saw. And he made them all.
Well, Patrick Roy gave you a little vintage Roy there. 3 Dave Poulin's cut. You can see that he knows it, but you're not going to get this guy off.
The Bruins have had 6 straight shots before, during, and now after that last power play. And they've been good ones.
Vintage Patrick Roy on that last effort by the Boston Bruins. Great goaltending. It's still 1-0 Boston. Here's Poulin centering it. Everybody missed it in front of the goal, and the Canadians get a lift and come out. Lemieux dropped it to Peterson. His shot missed by a fair bit. Poulin getting away from Peterson. Got it up over the line. Bruins Burridge is on it. He's coming for the net. Turning back. Now he centers it. It's deflected out over the line by Dufresne, and he skates up after it. Dufresne bumped by Bourque. Bull got to the net. Trying to find it. The net is empty. Canadians get it there. They jam at it. And Mo got back in time. And he got lots of help.
That would have been an interesting call, Bob. The net was off the moorings for about a 2 count before Denny Morrell saw it. The puck didn't go in, and we'd have had another very disputed goal.
Canadians come awfully close to tying this hockey game.
Some people will go to any lengths to have a beautiful green lawn without any weeds. Now, Green Cross gives you an easier way with Fedex. the only liquid lawn food and weed killer with Killex. Just attach your hose, screw on the applicator, and spray. Feedex, the easy way to spray your lawn green.
That's a shot of the crowd directly behind the Boston net as they all look down to see the aftermath of what happened on that last wild sequence. We are seeing two very hot, tired, I'm sure, but very talented goaltenders put on quite a show here tonight. Moult scrambling back. Watch the net go off the moorings. As Harry said, the referee didn't signal it. The puck is in the crease. Who was that? Skrudland was reaching for it. Somebody dragged him down. Whoever that was for Boston, Harry, did a super job because the Canadiens had the pressure on. And Andy Moult grabbed the puck.
Well, this game reminds me a lot of Game 1. It was 1-0 for a long, long time and finally ended that way for Boston.
4:57 left in the second period. Randy Burridge, the only goal so far. 10-minute mark, first period. Burridge short-handed, mind it. Dufresne winds up, lets it go. It's knocked down in front of the net. Canadians keep it in. Schneider hands it off. Cardinal gets in. Cardinal shot. That's blocked by Carpenter and Bork. Gould is on the puck for Boston. Down he goes and flips it into the Canadian zone. Bruins want to change again. 4:30 left in the period. Cardinal takes the pass. Skates after it now. It was intercepted. Now it goes over the boards near the Boston bench. And again, play stopped.
Bob, hardly a play does stop, but when one coach or another isn't yelling at Morrell about something that he feels should result in a penalty to the other team. 4:25 left. And there is the beleaguered man in the striped jersey and the orange armband working tonight's game. And there's Pat Burns' reaction to his work at this particular moment.
Not an easy game to do for Denny Morrell. Fever pitch. The whole thing's been played at that.
And with 4:20 left, the Canadiens shoot it in. They have been pressing here in the second period. But now Carpenter has Carter with him. Carpenter going in, gets a shot, and it's juggled by Waugh, and then he decided he'd better hang on to it with Byers coming right at him.
Byers has been chipping away at Shane Corson right from the point of that last face-off. He was the most penalized individual player on the league's least penalized team this year, with 159 minutes in penalties. Tops in the team, 4 goals. Now, he went after Corson on the face-off. Corson's at the penalty box. He's gone, and Byers is gone. Byers was in uniform, Harry, earlier in the series. Rarely got on the ice. Tonight, he's played quite a bit, especially in the second period. But as you say, he's out there for a reason, and that's one of them right there.
That's right. That's the second time this line with Byers on it. Last time it was Hoggood. Got a double penalty with Courtnall, and now Byers with Corson. That's not much of a trade-off for the Montreal Canadiens. Every time Schneider and Dufresne are out there, Boston seems to get a good chance. 2 young defensemen in a game where one mistake can mean the end of the season. It's not an easy position to be in. I think both of them are going to be real good for Montreal in the future, but it's tough to play 2 inexperienced guys together at any time, let alone in a game where if you lose, you're out.
And they're in a pressure cooker right now. No question, Harry, down 3-1 in the series. Fighting back, though, all credit to the Montreal Canadiens in Game 4 to extend it to this one, Game 5. And now it's 1-0 Boston with 4:08 left in the second period. Skrudland will square off with Carpenter. He's there, number 11. 31 is Carter. From the draw. Players tied up. Carter comes in. He's been a real pest for the Bruins. Carter hooked it off the boards into the corner again. Sweeney. Carpenter in front. Here's Carter trying to stick handle to the net. He's upended behind the goal. Carpenter gets it to Sweeney. It's broken up and 3 Canadians skating out. Cardinal racing in there. Cardinal dropping it back. Here's a shot by Gilchrist. The rebound as Moult stopped it. And the Bruins are on it to get it out. Puck goes to center ice. And offside is called.
Andy Moog is very upset at Skrudland, who knocked him down as the Bruins took off out of their own zone with the puck. And some fan is throwing a nice pair of sunglasses out on the ice, meant for Denny Morrell, I'm sure. Well, have a look. It's a good shot here by Gilchrist. And Skrudland goes through the crease, and you can see jostles Moog and knocks him down. And for that, 2 or 3 Bruins took after him. No penalties. Face off just inside the Bruins zone.
Scott Burns tries to get a new line out. Morrell says, no, you can't. Always in the middle of a lot of things, Brian Skrudland.
He's been in the middle of the crease quite often in this series.
And he remains on now. He won't be in on the draw. Gilchrist will. Against Janney of Boston. Gilchrist won it cleanly. Back to Ludwig. Winds up, takes a look around. Lots of time to shoot it in. 3 Bruins are back after it. It is Peterson coming out. Peterson beating Carbonneau to Janney. Janney set it up, Neely. Oh, and Rob Neely. Walter back for Montreal. Waugh has been sensational. Carbonneau shot. Blocked by Moog. Chelios stopped it. Canadians on it. Keane back of the net it goes. Keane in the corner looking around. And it hopped away from Carbonneau, and Neely took a swing at it and got it out over the line. Up comes Prop, and here's Galley now following the play. Wow, had a tough time handling that one, but he did. And it poked it away. 2:45 left in the period. Waugh has kept the Canadians in it. There's a penalty coming up in behind the play. And I think might be Cam Neely. He's skating this way anyway. It is Neely.
He finished his check quite late on the target. Boston's target for the evening, 24, Chris Chelios. Neely's taking a pounding tonight, too.
Chelios had the puck, and at the top of the screen, one push was okay in Morrell's eyes, but the second one was not. And Neely's in the box. 2 minutes for roughing. Bobby Carpenter has left the game and gone to the Boston dressing room about 30 seconds ago.
One thing about getting an inside-the-mouth cut like Cam has and a tooth loss, as the game wears on, that keeps swelling up. Here's the great chance that he had. The puck rolled on him, and Patrick Waugh made the save. And then, even if you get it brushed, Dick, it causes all kinds of pain. So Cam Neely's not going to be as good-looking tomorrow and doesn't nearly feel as good-looking tonight. And this guy has done all you can ask to keep his team alive with about 6 or 7 great stops, often from 6 or 8 feet out.
He's had 13 shots in this period. Now we've got something thrown on the ice down, I see, down to our left toward the corner. Might be the egg routine again. I don't know, but it's something that they just can't pick up. The linesman can't. So here you see the scene as the maintenance men come out onto the ice. 2:41 remaining, second period. 1-0 Bruins.
Hey, Bill.
It's Captain Thunder.
You're Miss Wonder Dog Bliss.
When you think about it, nobody addresses Canada's needs so completely as the more than 400 addresses of Canadian Tire.
See you in a few years, Captain Thunder.
Tomorrow on CBC, all across the country, Sports Weekend, Long Beach Grand Prix, second one of the season, the World Cross Country Running Championships. 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 Pacific time on the CBC Television Network Sports Weekend.
Well, this is a gut-wrencher for the coaches. Milbury, under no certain terms, wants to go to Montreal to play Sunday night. And Burns can't wait for that game.
Things are tidied up. And the scoring has been pretty tidy in this one. Randy Burridge, shorthanded goal at the 10-minute mark of the first period. Poulin and Sweeney the assists on a goal that is looking bigger and bigger and bigger. 2:35 left in the second period. Canadians after it in there. Flipped in back of the net. Bort brings it out and sends the Canadiens back. Montreal on a power play. Again, Lemieux parked up near the Boston line. Nobody sees him. Not yet, anyway. Doesn't matter because Smith carries it in. Slipped by Peterson. For Lemieux. Back of the net. Center net. Right in front of Smith. Here's Chelios wrapping at it. Missed it. And the Bruins get together and cover up and clear it down the ice.
Boy, the Bruins have blocked a lot of shots. That was Dave Poulin. Blood all over his sweater. Throwing himself in front of Chelios' shot.
Chelios lugging it himself now. Shooting it into the corner. Peterson got a piece of it. Knocked him down. And the Bruins get it out. 1 minute left in the penalty. Bobby Smith has Carter all over him. There's Swoboda. He has a tough time against Burridge. Bumped by Peterson, knocked down. And the Bruins clear the zone. Right to Waugh.
Montreal's shootings are deplorable. Nobody in the area they're shooting the puck to, and nobody beats Bork to it.
1:15 left in the period. Cordell has some steam up. He's flying in there. Trying to drop it back. Here's LeBeau. Centered it. LeBeau shot blocked by Moog. And Canadian Schneider missed it, but here's Cordell. He lost it. Cleared out over the line. 10 seconds left on the power play. Chelios back in for Montreal. A pass. LeBeau shot. A weak one. LeBeau again. It's knocked out over the line. Schneider has to hurry back. Healy's penalty over. Schneider looking good. He's in. They score. Schneider made a beautiful pass to LeBeau. And the Canadiens have tied the game.
And wouldn't you know, Dick, it was not a power play goal as the Bruin man came out of the penalty box, Cam Neely, but didn't get in play. There he is. Schneider caught the whole Boston team standing still. And here's what happened. A beautiful pass to Boom Boom LeBeau, and he puts it in for his 3rd goal in his last 5 playoff periods.
One of the Boston defensemen gets caught up right here. Galley, I think it is. They run interference on Galley, and here you go. Wesley committed himself in front of the net. And a nice play. Tie score. Funny how you had mentioned about all the block shots, and the Canadiens were running into no room at all inside the blue line. Suddenly there was a lot of room, and they cashed in.
I think young Schneider saw that the Bruins were up close to the line, and none of them, all of them standing still. And he took a chance, and it turned out to be quite a nice play, and LeBeau was on the end of it.
19:27, the time of the goal by LeBeau. And Schneider with a beautiful play got the assist. Poulin trying to get it back. A rebound was set up there, but 20 seconds remain in the period. 1-on-1. Keane against Peterson. Keane's shot deflected by Peterson, and it goes up into the crowd. What a beautiful play by Schneider, though, as he picked it up, and he knew exactly what he was trying to do when he got the puck at center ice and stick handled through. He could really handle that puck cleanly, and a beautiful pass to LeBeau in front of the net. Moog had no chance.
I don't know whether he faked the shot or faked the pass to get Wesley to sprawl. Whatever he did, it was the right play because he threw it over to a wide-open LeBeau. Young Schneider's going to be a good one, and he shows you right here. He's got some offensive talent. And Wesley was trying to stop the pass across Dick that didn't occur until he was down and out. And Schneider makes a great play to LeBeau to tie this game up with only 16 seconds left. Second period.
Chelios blue line shot tipped near Moog, and he had to be very careful as the Bruins laid back a little bit now. That shot partially screened, but Moog somehow saw it at the last second and made the save, even though he was off balance.
Well, Andy Moog was in the right place. This is the kind of a stop goalies make when they're in good position, because I'm not sure that he saw it, Dick. But he stopped it, and both goalies have been excellent in this game, as they have for most of the games in this series.
So Burridge short-handed for Boston in period 1. 10-minute mark. Poulin and Sweeney assisted on that goal, and now at 19:27 in the very late stages of the second period, Schneider sets up LeBeau. His third goal of his only playoff. 2 goals in Game 4 at the Forum in Montreal. Another here tonight. From the faceoff, 8 seconds left. Poulin going after it. Here's Neely who'll pick it up. And he just slaps it down the ice, knowing that the siren was about to go, and it does, to end the second period. The only goal-scoring play, 1927, LeBeau from Schneider, and Pat Burns and the Canadiens are back in it. We'll have Brian Skrudland along to chat with Ron McLean in our next intermission. Coming up, the score at the end of the second period at Boston. The Bruins won, the Canadiens won.
Even when it's standing still, the 1990 Chrysler Daytona with new smooth shifting 5-speed AM/FM stereo with 4 speakers and a more powerful engine than Mustang LX will blow you away. Special Alberta price just $12,490 with guaranteed rebate, or choose factory financing. Hurry, limited time offer. It'll blow you away. Nobody competes like your Chrysler dealers of Alberta. Nobody.
Ernie, the weather's changing. Time to get going.
Oh, I am. I'm checking out what's new in the Beaver Lumber Flyer and figuring out how much we'll save on what we need.
Makita cordless drill. Convenience at a special low price. Philips soft-tone pastel light bulbs enhance any decor. 6 pleasing colors. Beaver drywall and patching compound is pre-mixed for easy application.
Ernie, here are some new things I know we're going to need.
Beaver Lumber, helping you make the most of your home.
Yeah, we're going to get to London right on time. Isn't that great? Canadians, great airline. Business class is comfortable, isn't it? Isn't this very comfortable? I love it. This is so pretty. This is Royal Dalton, China, you know that? Have you ever been to London before?
Doing business means covering territory, and AGT Cellular offers more territory than anyone else in Alberta, plus nationwide coverage through Cellnet Canada. While some cellular coverage may fence you in, AGT Cellular takes you one step farther.
AGT, we bring your world to you.
CBC News with Knowlton Nash.
Good evening. Here are tonight's top news headlines. The travel plans of thousands of Canadians are up in the air because of the financial difficulties of some big names in the air charter business. Sound Air has gone into receivership. It owns Odyssey International, which is now grounded. An affiliated charter company, Thompson Vacations, is also in receivership. Thousands of people are stranded, and thousands of others who'd made deposits for summer trips are now left hanging. New fears of violence in the Akwesasne Reserve prompted an evacuation today. Hundreds of people were taken from the Canadian side of the reserve. The American side has been the scene of a sometimes violent controversy over whether gambling should be allowed there. And Prime Minister Mulroney makes another appeal for compromise over the Meech Lake Accord. He says every major development of Canada as a nation has been the result of compromise. And we'll have more news after the game. Now back to Hockey Night in Canada.
On a hot evening in Boston, Massachusetts, a grand clash between the Canadiens and the Boston Bruins is now squared at 1. Montreal with a goal in the final minute of period 2 to square this affair. Brian Skrudland of Montreal is here to comment on the importance of that goal.
Well, it's a big goal. It's not a power play goal, but like we were talking, it was awful close. And you know, anytime you can draw even going into the third period in the Gardens, it's a big lift for us just to get a goal on Andy Moog.
Everybody is sick of hearing the question about the power play, but have you got anything late to give me on why it hasn't been operating? And do you think Stéphane Lebeau is the answer to perhaps provide some imagination or speed?
Well, definitely the imagination part. That's something we've got to work on. I think we've been, you know, doing the same thing for too long, and it's something that isn't working. We're trying some different things now, and you know, we're getting some chances. That's the main thing. As long as we're getting chances, we know that you know, laws say that we've got to score a goal.
What's the mood set, Brian, for the team coming into this game? Do you feel you can steal here, go home, etc.?
Well, we have to. That's the bottom line. We have no choice. Our backs are against the wall. We've had a great season and a great playoff so far, and you know, we're very positive. We're missing some key gunners, but at the same time, we've got a lot of guys that want to have a lot of hockey left in them, and you know, the weather's just starting to get nice. We want to play hockey for a long time yet.
What's the experience been like for you? Such a great friend of Mike McPhee's, a line mate for so many years, roommates. You were taken apart this season, and now he's out, of course. What's that been like for you?
Well, it was difficult at first because you know, Stefan and Shane had such great seasons. I really couldn't go up with those guys. They you know, but in the same sense, we scored a lot of goals. We had a lot of fun together, and Mike and I have always sort of been the grinders and muckers on this hockey club. And for me to get a chance like I had, I said, what the heck? I'm here and getting the opportunity. I may as well make the best of it. Mike was making the best of his defensive play with Guy Carbonneau as well. So it's something that both of us, I think, excelled at, but. It would have been nice to have Mike back on the left side tonight, maybe Claude on the right side, and see what we could have done.
It's been a long time since I've seen you. Did you make any money on the Grey Cup?
Made a lot of money, had a lot of fun. We had a great time. Yeah, it was a great game.
Okay, good luck here.
Thank you very much, Ron.
Brian Skrudel and the Montreal Canadiens chasing, obviously, a Stanley Cup, and in a big game against the Bruins, sees his team tied 1-1 through 2. Coming up next, we'll show you action from Madison Square Garden, New York, the Patrick Division final between the Rangers and Washington Capitals. Live, this is Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
I looked up, and that was it. I knew what I wanted to do. I made up my mind to get as close to those planes as possible. I got close to them all right. We took people from one end of the country to the other. And we brought people together. We knew we were part of something important. That feeling of building something and just knowing it would grow. The planes may change, but the people, they still make them fly.
Mazda makes their move. Not only free automatic transmission on 323 hatchback and 323 Protégé. Not only free air conditioning on 626, MX-6, RX-7, and Mazda trucks, but also the best warranty in the business. Mazda.
It just feels right.
Finally, a cordless drill that just won't quit. The Black & Decker Univolt. With more torque than its leading competitor and more than 100 watts out of power. Only one thing stops the Univolt. The industrial strength Black & Decker Univolt. The industrial tool division of Black & Decker presents an industrial strength guarantee. If you're not satisfied with any tool we make, we'll take it back. Guaranteed.
The Canadiens hope to remain alive in Game 5. They are tied with Boston 1-1 at the end of 2 periods in this significant road game at the Garden. At the other Garden this evening, Madison Square, it's the Patrick final between the Caps and Rangers with the score 1-0 Washington. On a goal by Kelly Miller, the Rangers get the equalizer. Early in the third, Norman Rochefort shot from the blue line. He eludes Mike Liut, so it's Caps 1, Rangers 1. Let's take you now to Madison Square Garden. Rick Peckham and Dave Maloney.
We welcome the audience from Hockey Night in Canada just joining us. We're early in the third period, 17:40 left in it. The Rangers have scored to tie the game. Norman Rochefort with a fluttering shot through a crowd of players in front of Mike Liut has tied the game at 1. That was at 1:47 of this third period. And the Capitals have a power play. Chris King is off for elbowing. Scott Stevens one-hands the pass out. It's deflected to Stephen Leach. Kelly Miller has the Washington goal. That was scored way back early in the first period. James Patrick moves the puck along. It's fired in front. It got away from Ridley, but not Van Beesbrook. He gets a whistle.
Well, it's this point in Game 5 where we have mentioned early in the series where the war of attrition could be a battle. Now, we got Norman Rochefort and James Patrick played an awful lot of hockey here. A little guilty, tired thinking. Patrick comes around, Rochefort kind of drifts to the back of the net, down a man, and leaves Ridley in front. Now the puck goes off Ridley's foot, and it's not really the chance that it could have been, but you know, you get a little bit tired, and then you just don't do the sharp things that you do when your mind is sharp. And Rochefort just kind of drifts, gets guilty of following the puck, and Ridley gets a good chance if the puck had been on his stick.
There is John Drews, a hero throughout this series. Tonight he's been held scoreless. He has 8 goals in the first 4 games of the series. Van Beesbrook's allowed to handle the puck, but he can't get it by Johansson. Courtnall beats Hunter. He's decked by Moeller. Rochefort gets it loose. The Rangers clear with 1:05 remaining of the penalty to King. Ollie Johansson with a long pass ahead for Hunter. Courtnall down the off wing, stripped to the puck by.
Thank you to the fellows in New York. Miller and Rochefort, the goal scorers. Washington won, Rangers won. Here in Boston this evening, it's Montreal won, Boston won. Once for all at this all-for-one time of year. Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC returns in a moment.
You'll be very happy here. Hey, what are you doing?
Packing furniture.
I just sold this place.
Maybe, but this guy just sold the whole house.
At Century 21, thinking big has made us the #1 real estate organization in the world.
Where are we going?
Well, looks like Europe.
Well, what am I going to do there?
Well, you can join the Century 21 office.
But
you'll have to start thinking a little bigger.
Her name is Christine. She sells steel. Surprised? You don't know Christine. One clue about her is that no matter what she feels inside, she handles stress very well. And one clue about how well she handles it is Secret. She relies on pH Balance Secret to help keep her fresh and dry.
Secret antiperspirant, strong enough for a man. Made for Christine.
Try new Sporty Clean, the latest Secret fragrance.
Through thick and thin, the Nissan Sentra can take just about anything you can throw at it, including compliments. The Nissan Sentra, winner of the CAA Award for reliability. But wait, it gets better. Get air conditioning and stereo at no extra charge.
The luster of the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC continues. Last night, St. Louis and Chicago played Game 5 at the stadium. Steve Thomas ripped one from inside the blue line that actually seemed to go through the glove of Vincent Riendeau, but there's no doubting Thomas, his 3rd game winner of 5 goals in the playoffs. Hawks beat the Blues 3-2. Game 6 of that series, which Chicago leads by 1, will be at the arena 8:30 Eastern tomorrow evening. The Edmonton Oilers have already advanced to the Clarence Campbell Conference Championships. Joe Murphy provided the difference in the deciding game in Los Angeles. His overtime winner sees the Oilers resting and waiting. They will begin the next round at home at the Northlands Coliseum. The Campbell Conference Finals commence May 2nd. The following night will bring you Wales Conference action as that final begins Thursday, May 3rd. Here at the Garden, it's Montreal 1, Boston 1 after 2. The 1990 Stanley Cup playoffs resume in a moment.
Kraft Light, with less than half the fat of regular mayonnaise, just got better. It now has no cholesterol. Kraft Light mayonnaise type dressing, it's cholesterol free, so you can feel good about good taste.
New Esso ProTech engine oil with LXT. More stable, flows faster to help protect your engine even in extreme heat or cold. Hoods up! 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 Hoods up for ProTech! Esso ProTech. Don't wait until your car demands it.
Nobody competes competes like your Chrysler dealer. The Chrysler Advantage. No other car company offers you as many choices. Choose 8.9, 9.9, or 10.9% financing. Or choose guaranteed rebates up to $1,000 on Spirit and Acclaim, $750 on Sundance and Shadow, $1,000 on Daytona, and $1,000 on Chrysler Dynasty. Choose 8.9% factory financing or $1,000 cash to you on Dodge Dakota 4x2 and 4x4 and Ram Tough light-duty trucks. Nobody competes like your local Chrysler dealer. Nobody.
Announcing a new Ulster line from Slapshot. This season, the look is Aki. The Flame, the Jets, the Oilers. Slapshot, the signature collection inspired by the NHL, designed for winners.
To get your shirt, save 5 tickets that say score.
The breakaway look of Slapshot.
Molson Special Dry, the evolution of beer.
Bob Cole, Dick Irvin, and Harry Neal at the Boston Garden ready for the third period. The Canadiens and the Bruins are tied going into number 3, 1-1. LeBeau tied the game at 19:27 from Matthew Schneider. What a fine play he made to give it to LeBeau in front of the net.
Well, let's have another look at this fine goal set up by Schneider. He caught the Boston team standing still, fakes Wesley to the ground, and then passes it over to LeBeau, who puts it in to give Montreal a 20-minute chance of a return game Sunday at the Forum.
Stéphane LeBeau, in his 5 playoff periods, has had 9 shots on goal, and 3 of them have gone in. What a debut.
Third period underway at the Boston Garden. And the Bruins lift it in. Chelios gets away from Bob Sweeney. Skrudlin comes out to Gilchrist. A long shot. Missed the net. Rebound Lemieux. Nice save by Moog on that hard shot by Lemieux. Lemieux is after the puck. So is Ludwig. Ludwig's shot. That's blocked. Canadians are pressing now. It's centered again. Bruins intercept. Christian comes away. Christian in with a shot. Wow, was slow moving for that one. It missed the net. I don't know if he saw it coming. Chelios lost his stick, picked it up again, and now gives it to Gilchrist. He is bumped by Burridge. Skrudlin rolled it in. The Canadians want to make changes. They do. Alley around the net for Boston. Neely takes his pass. Cam Neely can't find any room, and the Canadians get it up. It is Keane moving up alone. Keane was upended. Now Keane is in alone. Owen Raw made a great save on Keane. He had been knocked flying but got back up and was in alone. Mike Keane. Now he's on it again. Keane in. Dropped it. Canadians in front of the net. Moe kicked out the right leg and made another big stop on Walter. Andy Moe being tested early in this third period. Janney. Flipped the pass in for Neely. He and Dufresne bumped together. Walter and Schneider. Now for Dufresne. He mishandled it. Back to Schneider in front of the net. Tossed it out to Courtnall. He dodged Byers. Dufresne comes back. Carter forechecking. And the Canadians just had to shoot it down the ice. As Carpenter and Carter were buzzing inside the blue line. Tonight's game is coming to you from the Boston Garden.
Honda presents a cure for cabin fever on those long excursions with the family. The wonderfully spacious redesigned Accord sedan. Why, there's so much more comfortable room, you may never hear. How much farther to go, Dad? Again.
Looks like Ray Bourque is headed for maybe a 35-minute game. 23:50 through the first 2 periods. Time on the ice.
Canadian Svoboda. Galley pinching in. It hit LeBeau and got out. Cardinal had to pick it up, going the other way. And then he just sidestepped Carpenter's check. LeBeau again through center. LeBeau tied the game. The late stages of period number 2 for the Canadiens. Swoboda has to hurry back. Bob Sweeney is coming in, so is Carter. Swoboda fell. Canadiens get it out over the line. Corson trying to race for it. Stopped by Wesley. Beers hammered a pass up the center to Bob Sweeney. He and Corson bumped together. Desjardins, LeBeau up for Corson. In over the Boston line and 3 Bruins all over him. Shot from a sharp angle. Moog, an easy save on that side. Carter's pass stopped by Cardinal. He dropped it back, and here's Ludwig. Ludwig looks to the other defenseman, Desjardins. Canadiens are changing. Lemieux again. Through center and up over the Boston line. Lemieux going in. Trying to center and hit the side of the net with that pass. Peterson comes in to help for Montreal. He gets in front of the net. Took a shot, and he just missed on the short side. Moog nearly got trapped trying to clear it himself. Wesley mishandles it. The Canadiens continue to press. Ludwig at the blue line stopped it. Peterson bunt. Now he's going for the net. Lemieux in front. He dropped it back the other way. Pulling out for Boston. Coming in. The Bruins are changing. He threw a pass in. Here's Carter. Can't get a shot. Upended. The crowd wanted a penalty, but the Canadiens are coming out. The game is tied 1-1, and Smith backhands it into the Boston zone. This has been a hectic pace all night tonight. Neely now. He's dragged to the ice. When off balance, Carbonneau went down. Neely stopped the pass and dropped it back. Ray Bourque again. Bourque trying to move it up for Boston. To Janney. Over on the far side. Carter comes in. He's upended. Puck cleared back out over center ice. Trot with Sweeney. Don Sweeney had a hit escape and bounce all the way back inside the Boston line.
The time that Mike Milbury may take a timeout. The Bruins are reeling.
Bourque trying to unreel the Bruins. Put a pass in on the boards. Dufresne lifts one high. It's tipped by Walter down the ice. High stick made contact. So the faceoff is going to be inside the Montreal line.
On the table, but Harry, I'd have to think Mike Milbury has to be a little bit concerned. His team's been outshot 4-0. There's been a couple of great chances for Montreal, who have taken over at the start of this third period.
Late goals, boy. They improved the intermission for the team that got it.
Canadiens now. Laid back for a moment. They're dumping it out. Galley to Christian. Canadiens are checking closely. Backing up is Schneider. He hit LeBeau. Can't get it out, though. Offside is called. Burge was trapped inside the line. And it's offside.
Well, Randy Burge, the goal scorer for the Bruins in this one tonight. And he really personifies what you were talking about, Harry, with the work ethic for the Boston Bruins. I mean, that's the only way that a Randy Burge stays in the National Hockey League is to play that way. And you go back to when they weren't making the playoffs, times have changed.
Schneider looking around. Sees a little bit of room and skates to center before shooting it up over the line. Corson was upended. Looking for numbers and didn't see the puck. Schneider nearly gave it away at his own blue line. And again, they have to call it with the puck going over the boards at the penalty box area. Stopping the play.
I kind of hate to see the old swing go.
Come on, Dan.
For beautiful yards, people turn to Canadian Tire for the quality and low prices of Mastercraft tools and supplies.
When you think about it, nobody addresses Canada's needs so completely as the more than 400 addresses of Canadian Tire.
And our daughter just called. Maybe we shouldn't have taken down the swing. Looks like you're going to be a grandfather.
After all, your yard's not just the place where the grass grows.
1984, a fine year for the Canadiens. Look at the players that were drafted in that year.
Raw third round. Good night. Schneider faked Carpenter. Made a play down a little too far for Courtnall. Both had to play it though. Into the corner, the Bruins. Carpenter picks it up and pushed the pass ahead. Burridge had it knocked off his stick by Desjardins. Christian in there forechecking against Swoboda. At the 6-minute mark of the third period, 1-1 the score. LeBeau. Burridge after him. Desjardins couldn't get it out. Canadiens unable to move the puck out over the line. Burridge doing great work. Watt cleared it off the glass. Montreal still not able to move it out, but they get a break with a high stick making contact with the puck, and that stopped it.
Well, Boston Bruins have caused the Montreal Canadiens all kinds of trouble with this three-man across passive forechecking. 3 men across at the top of the circle of the Montreal zone. Now take a look here. Here's how you beat it. The defenseman has to carry the puck. If he can't beat number 11 Carpenter, he tosses it over to his defense partner. If Carpenter cuts him off. They've been trying to pass the puck to the forwards, who are all covered, or there's a Boston Bruin in the line of a pass if you try to get it to him. And it's caused all kinds of headaches for the team in red.
Here's Galley for Boston. Galley stopped up the line. Carbonell waits. Very patient before making the play to Keane. Making the shot. Keane tried to go in. He was knocked down, and Neely threw a pass ahead. Keane intercepted. Walter failed to hang on to it, and the Bruins get it out. Backing up is Chelios. With the pass right away to Keane. He was slow in moving it. The Bruins on it. Sweeney coming in. Centered it. Right in there. Scramble. No goal. No goal. The crowd thought a goal had been scored. So did the Bruins on the ice. But Denny Morrell did not.
Well, the puck went in. Morrell waved it off, and I think the reason for the wave-off was that young Hoggood went into the net before the puck did and either knocked the net off the moorings or knocked Patrick Waugh out of the play. Now you figured out, Dick.
The puck disappeared along with Hoggood. The light didn't go on.
I think the puck got in, but Denny Morrell waved it off right away. No hesitation whatsoever on it, and not much of an argument from the Bruins. So at this point, when there's no argument about a disputed goal, you know the team that scored it probably agrees that it didn't go in.
Follow the bouncing puck as far as you can.
It never went in. Good call by Morrell.
Canadiens trying to clear out. Beers gets a shot. Waugh! Saw it at the last second and kicked out to the pad. What great reaction by Waugh. Now, Poulin. Waugh comes out. Poulin went after the puck. Waugh still out. Bruins can't score it. It's back to Beers. Waugh's back in. And it's kicked away. Oh, brother, the Bruins did everything there. With Waugh trucked out of the net. But he made a great decision on leaving the net. And intercepted one in front of Poulin. Now the Canadiens in. Oh, and a chance for Bobby Smith. Out for Boston. Beers brings it up over the line and shoots it into the corner. 1-1 the score. And the chances we've seen already in this third. Unbelievable. Long shot by Carpenter is wide. Bourne kept it in. Carpenter at the far side. It rolls back to Carter. There is Sweeney. Sweeney centered it. Carter was covered. Carpenter in front now. Sweeney stopped. Sweeney again. Now Dufresne looking around. Trying to get the puck out, and he does. Bourne failed to stop it. The Bruins are offside. And the play is called.
more hockey you chaps are going to be describing this season, but the 2 games that we've had here, Harry, back-to-back last Saturday night and here tonight on a Friday have given us an awfully lot to talk about. Here's the big play and the gamble by Roy.
He won that one, but look at this one. He's helpless. 2 Montreal defensemen make the saves. Ludwig and Carbonneau is behind him playing ball hockey there, just like he used to when he was a kid on the streets of Montreal.
Whole sequence started on the Chelios giveaway and the check by Poulant. The other end of the ice, once the Canadiens got it there, Bobby Smith came very close to scoring for Montreal.
Well, in this rink, defensemen like Chelios and Swoboda, who have a good imagination and they're good with the puck, have got to realize, dump it into the neutral zone. You can't make as many good plays here as you can in most of the other NHL rinks because obviously of the size.
Swoboda has to hurry back. Gets away from Wesley and a pass right under the stick of course, and he's out. There goes Fortnall. But it's not off his stick, and offside is called at the Boston line. 11:32 remaining in the 3rd period.
In Canada, when someone moves into a place of their own, a traditional gathering is held. It's called a housewarming. Molson Canadian. The clean, cold taste of a genuine Canadian beer. What beer's all about.
Tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern Time, Hockey Night in Canada will bring you the Blackhawks and the Blues from the St. Louis Arena.
And we won't know for a little while the Bruins and the Canadiens will be playing anymore. So let's stick with this now. 1-1. Bruins coming in. Here's Janney. Janney coming in with a pass in front. He refuses to take a shot.
Janney won't shoot it. He had a good chance to backhand it, but he makes such lovely passes. People only complain under their breath about it.
From center, Chelios wraps it back in over the Boston line, and Bourque takes it. There's a neat play up the center to Janney. Janney in there. Neely was in front, but Chelios was backing up and cleared it out. Walter is up on this play and takes the pass. Dropped it back. Carbonneau lost it. 3 Bruins on this one. Coming out the center, Janney. He's moving in, and the play is called in behind the play. Carbonneau had been hurt.
Denny Morrell figured Guy Carbonneau was really hurt, and he blew the whistle on what looked like it was a 3-on-2, and Mike Milbury can't believe it. The referee's in a tough spot, Dick. It was a big-time collision back there behind the play. Carbonneau went into the boards at a breakneck speed, and I'm sure Morrell had just a chance to glance back and have a look and see, and made a decision to blow it rather than let it go, thinking Carbonneau may really be badly injured. And you can't blame Milbury for being mad. You can't blame Denny Morrell for making that call.
Well, Carbonneau would appear to have suffered a cut of some time. Now, behind the referee, you can see Carbonneau on the ice right there, and that's where he blows the play down, as Janney is just inside the Montreal blue line, and you can expect some boos for Guy Carbonneau. The Bruins, of course, think he's looking for an Emmy or an Oscar or whatever in a situation like that, but you're right, Harry, it's a tough break for whatever team has the puck and is heading up the ice, and what amounts to almost a power play with a man at the other end of the rink.
Carbonneau's getting it from the bench. The Boston Bruins are all over him about faking it. I'm sure Guy Carbonneau didn't. He lay there for a while in Wonderland. But the Boston Bruins don't believe him, and they're giving it to him.
A lot of tension now in this hockey game. Game 5 of the best of 7. The Bruins trying to wrap up the series as they lead 3-1. 10:36 left in the 3rd period here in Boston in game 5, and we're tied 1-1.
Bobby Carpenter's not on the Boston bench. Remember, in the 2nd period, Dick said he had to go to the dressing room, and he's still hurt, I guess.
Crowd roars again. Janney bends in there against Skrudlin. But Skrudlin beat it to it. Walter on the puck. Stick handle away from Janney and comes out with Skrudland and Keane. A shot in, hit Galley. Keane trying to pick it up. The Bruins are on it. Long pass goes down the ice, but Roy has to be alert. Ludwig back. Ian Chelios, the Montreal defenseman. Carbonneau on the ice again, coming out. No room on that far side. Janney tried to go in. He was stopped. Chelios being watched by Janney and Neely. Chelios, a pass ahead, was intercepted up the line. The Bruins on it. Janney feeds it in. Long shot by Prop, blocked by Roy. Chelios and Neely again. Mild pushing and shoving, and the three officials come in to try to get him to think hockey. He's still pushing.
You know, the decision you make here at the pump has a lot to do with how your car performs year-round. What you put into it is what you get out of it. And when you put in Esso Supreme, you get a premium unleaded gasoline designed with high octane and improved cleaning power to deliver peak performance. Esso Supreme, the supremely intelligent gasoline. Esso, going that extra mile.
We haven't had a fight in this series yet, but this is as close as we've come to one. There's a lot of good hockey players out there that the teams would not like to do without for the remaining 9 minutes and 54 seconds. There's no way Denny Morel can't give penalties here to a few players, I would say.
This all really began when there was a glove push to the face. That's familiar. In this case, the glove belonged to Neely, the face belonged to Chelios. Everybody got into the act after that, and this has been the scene ever since.
One guy that has to be holding his breath is little Don Sweeney. He's got a hold of Craig Ludwig. I think Ludwig could throw him from where he's holding him into the Boston bench if he wanted to.
Well, now we've got Neely being escorted to the penalty box. And it looks like Carbonneau. And now some idiot in the crowd throws a whole bunch of popcorn down in the direction of Guy Carbonneau. It landed on the ice, and we'll have a hold-up. In fact, there's a lot of stuff being thrown on the ice from all over the place here at the Garden right now.
Well, the players did use a lot of restraint because, boy, they sure looked like they were going to start. But they held back.
This is a message for all the car manufacturers who've been trying to copy the Chrysler Magic Wagon for 6 years. If what you want is a Dodge Caravan or Plymouth Voyager, just tell us. Perhaps we'll build them for you. And you can simply put your names on the front. Chrysler Magic Wagon. Easy to drive, hard to copy.
Denny Morel has 4 players in the penalty box. Sweeney and Ludwig joining Neely and Carbonneau. And I think I didn't quite get the announcement. Looks like minors all around. It wasn't a punch thrown, really. A lot of shoves, holding and grabbing, and of course, a tremendous amount of talking. We have the maintenance men out again, doing their thing. The ice is very wet. Where's our friend with the thermometer? It was 80 in the first period in this building. It's got to be a little warmer than that right now.
Well, this will be the longest these two fellows, Craig Ludwig and Guy Carbonneau, have sat on the bench. They've played a pile of hockey, as has Raymond Bourque. 9:54 to go, 1-1 in a bitterly fought game here at the Boston Garden. Montreal looked like they had the edge, but in the last 3 or 4 minutes, Boston came on with some pretty good opportunities.
Roughing the call on the penalties. Carbonneau, Ludwig, Sweeney, and Neely. Don Sweeney. Now the Bruins. Long pass coming up to Poulin. In against Swoboda. Takes the shot. He missed the far side. Courtnall tried to lash it out of the zone and put it too high over the boards.
Update on the temperature. Our buddy supplied us with the thermometer. 85 at the broadcast booth level. Mr. Cole?
Fahrenheit.
Nice and warm.
You know, I was looking over the Boston roster, and Terry Crisp, the coach of the Calgary Flames, who's not working at the moment, and neither are his players, he coached 5 of these Bruins when he coached the Moncton team in the American Hockey League when both Montreal and Boston sponsored them. Byers, Sweeney, Carter, Peterson, and Bird.
We might be sweating it out up here, but can you imagine the players down there? In a tight one like this, 1-1, 9:20 left in the third. Canadians trying to stay alive. The Bruins trying to wrap up the series. Bruins are on the puck. Christian coming in. Here's Poulin. His shot stopped by Desjardins. Desjardins against Poulin. Christian comes in to give him a hand. And it is LeBeau who has scored the Canadiens' goal. A pass comes off the board. Swoboda was there in time to clear it out to Courtnall. It went up past center ice, and Courtnall missed it. LeBeau turning back. Coming to center. Given a bump by Burridge. Ork takes it. Long pass down the ice. This will be icing, I think. With Schneider back. Yes, icing called against the Bruins.
Well, it was a beautiful day here in Boston, and Boston is one of the favorite cities of a lot of NHLers. But you know, Dick, Boston leads the United States in car thefts. As a matter of fact, next year they're thinking of making a varsity sport among the high schools here in Boston.
They love their sports, I'll tell you.
Randy Burridge from Poulin and Don Sweeney at 10 minutes into the first period. The Boston goal, that was shorthanded by the Bruins. The Canadian Stéphane LeBeau, 19:27 of the second from Matthew Schneider. 1-1. Face off deep in the Boston zone to the left of Andy Moog. Shots 27-22 for the Bruins. Again, they have a difficult time lining them up. That is Gord Brossinger, the linesman, officiating now, ready to drop it in. There it is. Canadians on it. Bruins trying to move it into the corner. Lemieux in there, and he's covered. Bobby Smith comes in to help if he can, but Carpenter's draped all over Smith. Puck loose for Peterson. Now Sweeney. Bob Sweeney flipped it back, and the Bruins get it out. At center, the Canadians, Peterson shoots it in. Smith in against Galley. Alan Peterson of Boston trying to pass it out. He got it across center. Canadians can't shoot it in. Carter on it. He falls near center ice. 3 Canadians moving up. Bobby Smith. That shot right into the midsection of Andy Moog. And Moog again is harassed by the oncoming forwards.
Well, in that situation, Claude Lemieux bumped him, but he got out of there in a hurry and put the brakes on before he hit him.
7 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the third period.
Who can you lean on when you need to? Who's gonna hold you up?
I've learned a lot of things about driving from my dad, but the one thing he didn't have to teach me, never drink and drive. It's just common sense, isn't it?
I'm the one that's gonna take you home.
Boston 1, Montreal 1. And these two are sweating it out. Believe me. Mike Milbury knows that the Canadians can bang this one tonight. This series quite likely would go to 7. Burridge from center ice, played it into Christian. Christian shot, loved by Waugh. He saw Poulin heading toward him, so he held it.
Crowd, quite a reaction when the Canadians, a couple of players on a line change, jumped on at 1 foot on the ice and changed their mind and went right back out again. And suddenly there were a lot of Canadians on the ice just briefly. The crowd responded, but Morel did not. Patrick Waugh has faced 28 shots in this period. The Bruins have had 5, the Canadians 5. And that's the score with 46 seconds remaining in the third period at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers and the Capitals left far from overtime, or they're in sudden death right now, really. So they're in the last minute of play, and they're tied 1-1. A 1-1 tie here with 7:34 remaining, third period.
Face off in the Montreal end to the right of Roy. Christian on the draw with Skrudland of Montreal. Christian got it back. Bork shot, didn't get through. Pulling shot right in front. Burridge was close. Now, here's Wesley, and he's upended before he could make a play. The crowd wanted a penalty. Thought maybe Skrudland tripped him. The puck goes high at the boards near the Montreal bench. And again, they have to stop it.
Boston's come to life a little bit, and they're putting some heat on the Montreal defensemen in their own zone. And on that play, they just lobbed it up into the crowd behind the Montreal bench. Here's the last chance by the Bruins. Wesley, who comes in off the point, gets hauled down right here by Brian Skrudland, right in front of Morel. He didn't think it was a penalty, but the 14,000 fans in the rink did.
14,448. The sellout here at the Boston Garden. Poland's wrapped at him as he turned and fired. Missed the goal, though. Gilchrist to Skrudland. Had room. They could have sold another 14,000, I think. Here in Boston. Hockey very big. The Bruins even bigger. And a chance to eliminate the Canadiens tonight. Or 1-1 with 6:50 remaining in the third period. Desjardins had to move all the way back to give it to Swoboda. Back to Desjardins. Up the center. Lemieux got across center. Lifted one in. Bork takes over. Headmans the puck to Neely. Here comes Janney with Neely. Janney tried to make the play, but he fell. Bruins keep it in. Sweeney's shot missed the Montreal goal. Galley pinching in again. Knocked it in behind the net. Canadians can't get it out. It is Janney on the boards. Now it is out over the line. Slapped back in. Bruins clear the zone. So Ludwig will have to move it. Neely parked right in front of the net. Puck off the stick of Chelios down to center ice. Walters stopped on the boards by Galley. 6 minutes remaining in the third period. And they're still tied. 1-1. The Bruins in the first, Canadiens in the second. All the scoring. Wow. Moved it to Chelios. Hoggood is in there, buzzing again for Boston. Canadians get it out. The pass on the skate of Carbonneau, though. Swoboda. Across center. Looks for room at the line, and Bork made sure there was none. Chelios. Canadiens and Bruins make changes. Chelios out. Nobody to go to, so he slapped it away. Waugh will stop this for Swoboda. Carpenter, Carter forechecking. There's Carter turning on Chelios. The pass comes to Corson near center. He can't get very far. LeBeau bunt. Carpenter coming in. Sweeney up there with him, and it's poked away at the line. Here's a chance. Carter, no, it was called back at the line. A fraction out over the line. Offside. Bork doesn't think so.
Well, Gord Brossiker, or Kevin Collins, was right on the line, but he was at the other side of the rink. And the puck has to come all the way out, as you know, over the blue line, not just part way. That was a close call from about 60 feet away.
Danny Morel was right there, though, Harry, and I think he was almost signaling that it was over. Well, we got 5:04 remaining here in the third period. They played through those last 40 seconds, 40-odd seconds in New York. Nobody scored. So the Rangers, like the Canadiens, hanging on. And they are going into overtime on home ice, however, against the Capitals. 1-1 after 3 periods.
Raymond Bork stays out there 2 straight shifts. Everyone else changes, but not him. Boy, his ability is certainly not any stronger than his stamina.
From the face-off, it is Bork again. Peterson of Boston shoots it in. Waugh got a piece of it, enough for Swoboda to go back and pick it up. Against Janney, he comes out. Skates out with it. To Corson on his skates, the pass. Moving up, Desjardins. Fired one off the boards. Alan Peterson of Boston. Got it back to Bork. Up to Neely. Fires the shot. It's deflected and wide of the goal. Carbonneau trying to get it out. Does. Boots it ahead and now gives it to Walter. He's going in there. Keane with him. Walter can't get a shot. Three players bumped together, and it's the Bruins coming back. Don Sweeney up to Janney. Janney left it. And the shot went high over the net. Hoggett in there for checking. Puck fired back of the goal in the corner. Out with it is Carbonneau. Keane at center ice. Wrapped it from there, and the Canadiens want to make changes. Less than 4 minutes remaining in the third period. The Bruins showing signs of moving it better now. Wall fired one to the boards. Burridge picks it up. He left it there for Christian. Poulin is in the corner. He's bucked by Schneider. Got a pass away though. Now near the line, Lemieux. Out for Peterson. Back for Lemieux. He's breaking for the net. He's in there. Can't get a shot. Back of the goal, it's centered. Telio stops it. Flipped the pass in back of the net again. Lemieux with a great burst of speed nearly went right in on Moog. 3:15 remaining in the third period. Ludwig slowed up. Had to hurry because Christian is in there. Smith to the line. Bork couldn't stop it. Peterson is upended as he tried to go after it. Wesley turning around in his own zone. 3 minutes left. Third period. Smith of Montreal kept in by Ludwig. In back of the net. Bork grabs it. A pass to Christian, and Ludwig again fires it back in. Bounced up against the net. Morrison in there for Montreal with Courtnall. But it'll be Carter bringing it out for Boston. Poked it to center ice. Here's Swoboda moving up with LeBeau. Shoots the puck in. Moe got in the net, and he reaches down for it with LeBeau coming in. It was LeBeau, remember, who tied the game late in the second period.
There's a line that every player must cross. And whether that line is drawn in chalk or paint, on a sheet of ice or under a man-made sky, when you cross the line, you give it your all. And when you return, Gatorade helps put it back. Fluid, energy, Gatorade.
Gatorade is Thursday. For that deep down body thirst.
At the Boston Garden. On a hot April evening, I'm Bob Cole with Harry Neal, Dick Irvin, Ron McLean, and Don Cherry. And a jammed house at the old Garden. 1-1 is the score. 2:24 remaining in the third period. A win for the Bruins. They'll move on, and the Canadiens will be through for the season. Canadiens trying to extend the series. Down the ice it goes. Icing is going to be called. Don Sweeney back. They'll bring it inside the Montreal line, where they'll drop the next one in with 2:07 left in the third.
Well, in a game that's really in overtime now and has been for quite a while, you will see more icings than you normally will. First of all, it's a hot night. The players can't go as long as they could earlier because of the fatigue that set in. And they make many more safe plays now than they would in a normal situation early in a game. And to throw it down the ice and relieve the pressure, even though it's icing, allows your team to change, catch your breath, and take the draw. And two goalies, one of these guys is going to let a goal in that's going to lose the hockey game. And neither team probably deserves a loss tonight.
Take a look at those saves. There were most of the chances in this game came in the second period, a total of 27 shots in that period. There's been a total of 9 so far here in the third with 2:07 left.
You know they're getting tired down there. We've mentioned many times. Terrific heat in the building. And these boys have put out since period one. And the crowd stands again, sensing maybe Janney, Neely, and Klopp can do it with this face-off. To the right of Patrick Waugh. 2:07 remaining in the third period.
For the whole third period, Bob, Mike Milbury has allowed Pat Burns to get the matchup. Walter, Keane, and sometimes Carbonneau, if not Carbonneau, Skrudland against Janney.
And Skrudland comes in there now, hoping to win the faceoff from Janney, because they're loaded behind him. Bort and Peterson at the blue line. Ross stepping out. Said something to the linesman.
He asked for a timeout, and Morrell wouldn't give it to him.
Here we go. Not yet. Schneider was anxious. Will they ever drop it? Healy is inside the circle. Dufresne has to move back. Skrudland gets ready. He must get ready first. And he does. Bort moves up. Bort going for the net. The shot is blocked. Canadians get the puck out. 2 minutes left in the third. The Bruins coming on. Pressing now. Dufresne in back of the net. That is Propp standing in front of the goal. Watching Dufresne. He goes to the right side. Schneider gallops away from Propp, and rolled it all the way into the Boston zone. Canadians make changes. 1:40 remaining in regulation time. 1-1. Boston coming out, trying to end it. They knock it up to the line, and Janney goes in there. Janney nearly got loose. Chelios, with the help of Ludwig, moved it away from him. Kept in at the line, barely. Propp on it. Along the boards, back of the net, it's centered. Here's Galley. High shot and rebound. And now Wesley scores. Wesley for Boston.
A minute 13 left in regulation time. Harry, it's almost sudden death.
Well, Boston had 3 good chances before they finally scored. Here's one of them coming up right now. Gary Galley over the net. The puck comes out and bounces right there. And here's the goal. Patrick Roy got a bit of it, but not enough of it. It went in.
Now the Bruins get big goals from unexpected sources. Gary Galley in overtime last Saturday. Another defenseman, Glenn Wesley, at 18:47 of the third period in this one.
Pat Burns is trying to talk to his team. He's called a timeout, but I don't know whether his players can hear a thing.
They tried to get the timeout before that faceoff. Burns signaled to the ice. First Skrudland and then Roy asked Morrell. He refused them. The Canadians didn't clear the zone. Chelios, a play along the boards, didn't get out of the zone, and that kept it in for Boston.
Well, Pat Burns noticed too late that Dufresne and Schneider were on the defense against the Neely line. So he wanted to make the change. The timeout was the only way he could do it. Morrell wouldn't let him. Schneider and Dufresne got off the ice when the puck went down on the icing. So they weren't on when the goal was scored. And Craig Janney gets 1 assist on the goal by Wesley. 1:13 to go.
18:47. Wesley from Janney, and the Bruins are within a minute and 5 seconds of advancing in the playoffs and eliminated the Canadiens. Canadiens can't get it out. Neely slapped it in. 55 seconds left. Poland lifts one in. The Bruins are really going to forecheck now. Corson fires it to Chelios and Courtnall. Courtnall stopped by Poland. 40 seconds left. Canadians trying to get out. There goes Patrick Roy to the Montreal bench. They have the extra skater on now. The Canadians pick it up in there. Chelios fired into the corner. Poulin can't get it out. A scramble back of the net with 24 seconds remaining. And the Bruins shoot it down the ice, but it'll be icing. With Cornell back to touch it. Icing called against Boston. And 15 seconds remaining. And this crowd goes crazy.
Mike Milbury pointed to Raymond Bourque to ask him if he was all right to play the last 15 seconds. He's been out there the last 15 minutes. Now Boston has not called a timeout, but they're taking one anyway.
Canadiens' net was empty for 20 seconds. Roy got to the bench with 35 seconds to go. Boy, what a rookie year for Mike Milbury as the coach. He's going through a ringer.
He's making a smart move now. He's saying to his players, get out there. We don't want Montreal to get the timeout. Our guys are fresh. 15 seconds left in this hockey game. If they don't give the goal up, the Montreal Canadiens are history, and the Boston Bruins will play the winner between the New York Rangers and the Washington Capitals, who are currently in overtime at Madison Square Garden.
And you can call it the Stanley Cup semifinal. It's the conference championship, of course. But win this round and go on to the next. And then the Stanley Cup is down the road in the month of May. 15 seconds left. Boston leading the Montreal Canadiens 2-1. And leading in the series 3-1. They're that much time away from eliminating Montreal and moving on. Skrudlin comes on. LeBeau is on. Lemieux on. Schneider. Chelios are both on there. Corson is on. And Patrick Roy is not. The net is empty at the other end. Chelios stepping up lively. It is going to be Neely. He's breaking away. Empty net. Neely scores! And that's it. Boston moves on. The Canadiens are out.
They have some fans on the ice down at the Boston zone.
2 fans and about 10 cops.
You don't want to mess with the Boston finest. And that's obvious.
Denny Morrell wants to get the game over with. 5 seconds left. They're not even going to clean the ice. There's all kinds of debris out there. And he wants to finish it before any problem develops.
Neely unassisted, 1955. Empty net goal for Cam Neely. And the Bruins will win this one 3-1. There's the face-off. Last one. And here's the siren. Boston wins the series. 4 games to 1.
Well, you don't have to say much, Dick. Just look into the faces of the Boston Bruins. Mike Milbury shaking hands with Pat Burns, Ted Sater, Jacques Laperriere, arch enemies, but both coaching staffs congratulating each other on a bitterly fought series won by the Boston Bruins 4 games to 1.
The 3 games here, Harry, could have gone either way. The 2 in Montreal were decisive wins by the winning team, but the 3 here were just terrific shows. Great hockey entertainment by 2 of the best teams in the league.
And not one Montreal player left. They all stayed out to congratulate the victors.
always interesting to see the two goaltenders. They are about 3 people removed now from each other. What a show they put on tonight. This game wouldn't have been close if Patrick Wyatt had played so well in the second period. And here they are now. Oh, no extra little words. Well, they fooled me that time. Usually they do. Maybe they don't get along. I don't know.
Well, the Mutual Admiration Society. Moog was terrific, but so was Patrick Waugh. And again, Dick, Montreal's nemesis, as it was in the finals last year, not enough offense. Boston isn't loaded with it, but they've got more than the Canadiens. And now they get a nice breather before they start Thursday night in the Stanley Cup semifinals. Raymond Bourque, if he doesn't sleep like a baby tonight, nobody will. He played a monumental game.
Ray Bourque, rest up, Raymond. There's a lot of hockey left in you, and maybe in the Boston Bruins.
Well, I think one of the secrets to winning the Stanley Cup, in addition to having some pretty good team, is to get some rest between rounds. Edmonton's got it. Now Boston's got it. And if the Washington wins tonight, they'll get a bit of a breather. If you don't, it's too much of a grind to play 6 or 7 games every round.
The Boston Bruins have defeated the Montreal Canadiens and eliminated the Habs. They'll move on by virtue of their 3-1 win tonight in Boston. In just a moment, our Molson 3-star selection.
A setup. A murder's been committed.
I saw a flash of metal. Popped.
But the real crime,
If it's not the Q&A, it didn't happen.
is the investigation. Nick Nolte,
You can always find somebody to set you up, right?
Timothy Hutton,
Not if you're clean.
Armand DeSante,
You've been warned.
Q&A.
Now playing at select theaters. Check newspapers for showtimes.
Hi, I'm Jim Martindale. For years, I've been telling you about this amazing tool, the Garden Weasel. This is the original 5-in-1 tool used by millions of gardeners throughout Canada and the world. 3 rotary blades mesh with the topsoil, uprooting young weeds, creating a beneficial mulch. Remove the center blade for hard-to-reach areas. The weasel is virtually self-cleaning. There's only one Garden Weasel, and it's backed by this 100% lifetime guarantee.
The Garden Weasel is available at Woolco, Sears, Eaton's, Canadian Tire, and participating McLeod's. Makes a great gift.
It's the silver anniversary of this get-together between Montreal and Boston in Stanley Cup playoff competition. The 3 stars this evening, Glenn Wesley with what proves to be the game winner with 1:13 to go is the first star tonight, and the 2 goalkeepers, as they did throughout the series, Sean once more for Boston, Andy Moog in goal, and for the Montreal Canadiens, Patrick Roy. A 3-1 final, Bruins, a 4-1 series victory for Ray Bourque's team. Ray, I'll let you start this.
Well, it was tough, especially tonight. It was so hot in that building, and both teams really had a lot of chances. The goalies really stood on their heads, and we found a way to win again tonight. And we really played well through the first 3 games. We're really disappointed with our effort for the 4th game, but knowing that we're going to bounce back tonight in our building, and we really came out pretty hard and had a pretty good first period. Had a 1-goal lead till the last minute of the second period, but it was really a great effort on our club, and Andy Moog played super tonight.
Did he ever? Much was made about your remarkable recovery and being able to play in this series. Are you fully over that now, or looking forward to the rest?
I'm looking forward to the rest. I don't know how long it's going to be exactly, but it's going to be good. The last couple of games were really tough. Not so much because of my hip, but we're feeling a little fatigue. I went through 10 days without skating, and I've been playing ever since then. So a couple of days of rest will be nice, and get back to work.
I wish we had more time. As Harry Neal said upstairs, a monumental effort by you. Congratulations on the series victory, and good luck as we move along the trail.
Thank you very much. That was special.
Ray Bourque, captain of the Boston Bruins, of course hails from Montreal, which makes this doubly sweet. Boston 3, Montreal 1. Stay tuned for more on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
From
Touchstone Pictures, movie audiences everywhere are raving about the romantic comedy Pretty Woman.
Movies like this are made once in a lifetime.
I haven't felt this good after seeing a movie in a long time.
It's a great romantic comedy.
It's like that old-fashioned kind of movie, a movie that nobody should miss.
You walk out with a smile.
Really made my heart melt.
Pretty Woman is the ultimate love story. I'm glad I finally got to see it.
Richard Gere, Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman.
Let's go see it again.
It's a date.
It was great. It's a date?
It's a date.
I love it.
Now playing at theaters everywhere.
It's all over town. We're giving auto service a good name. Tire Craft. Only our name has changed. We offer brand name tires like Michelin, General, Firestone, and Yokohama. State-of-the-art service technology and trained personnel. All with a smile and a thank you. Ask around. We're giving auto service a good name. Tire Craft.
You snuck up on me. You know, when you travel as much as I do, you'll learn to recognize a good airline when you see one. Canadian is one terrific airline. Oh, that's lovely. I know what you're thinking. They paid him to say that. Well, I'll tell you a little secret. These people are so nice, I would do this commercial for nothing. No, I would not. But they're nice.
I inherited a love of cars from my father. He knew the value of regular service. Service you can trust. At Mr. Lube, we fine-tuned our service to a quality-packed 10 minutes of warranty-approved service while you relax. I think Dad would approve.
Protect your investment with a regular oil change from Mr. Lube.
Recently, Four Wheeled Off-Road magazine took this year's 4x4 of the Year winner and all the past winners and conducted a head-to-head showdown to determine the best of the best. So who won? Who do you think? There are a lot of 4x4s out there, but there's only one Jeep.
Jeep Cherokee, now with 9.9% financing over 24 months or $1,000 guaranteed rebate.
There's the summary of this evening's game that Stéphane Lebeau would score the lone goal for Montreal, almost representative of their last gasp attempt in this series. Burge, Healy, Glenn Wesley with the game winner. 3-1, Boston wins to claim the Adams Division Championship. In the Patrick final, they're in overtime right now. Miller and Rochefort, the goals tonight, 1-1 in the fourth period. And we've just had a power failure in the studio here in Boston. But Don, I can hear myself, so I assume the viewer can hear you. Go ahead.
Well, what happened was like Times Square out there. And, you know, I said to you in the with 5 minutes to go in the game, I said Canadians are playing for overtime. And what I mean by that, they were coming back, dumping the puck out. And when that happens, you've had it. You're asking for it to get scored on. And I've done it. My teams have done it. Every team's done it. You're in the opposing zone and all that stuff. Dump it out, and play for overtime, and that's what happened to him. Andy Moog, I tell you, has not let in a bad goal. In this whole series, he has not. You know, I mean, Lebeau scored on the goal. I mean, it had to be a perfect play. This guy is sensational. And in this series, to me, Andy Moog is the most valuable player.
What's really remarkable about Boston is that they took 7 games to dispense with Hartford, and yet in the hot conditions here at Boston Garden and throughout this series, they managed to play so well.
Well, Harry Sinden said the same thing about Calgary last year. He said that, you know, they just squeaked by Vancouver. They got back that. They had a little meetings and that. Let's go. What are we doing here? We're blowing the whole thing. And that's exactly what happened. They come along, played sensational like Calgary did. Once you get over that, when you're in first spot, once you get over that first opening series, you're okay. And they were great. But Bork was super. And Canadians played pretty good. I don't think they really played that well. They played the last 2 games good. They didn't play that well that they should be beat out the Bruins, but I say Andy Moog is, if he goes the way he's playing right now, they'll be in the finals. Boy, it's going to be great. Mike Liut, can I say something about Mike Liut? I've given him a hard time and everything about that. He's playing with the Caps right now, and they're in New York, and he is playing sensational too.
And so is John Van Beesbrook in another good game as we continue on with the tradition of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll be back to explain how we'll cover upcoming games as Molson Hockey Night in Canada returns in a moment.
You know, when you got it right, you got it right. Whether you're talking about this, or whether you're talking about the one and only Diet Cola that does it for Ray, Diet Pepsi. You know, nothing tastes as good to me as Diet Pepsi. All right, now, who was the wise guy?
Join the Diet Pepsi Taste Drive.
Now, that's the right one, baby.
CBC Sports? Yeah, they know what they're talking about. So when I watch, I know what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm no fanatic, but I watch, especially the playoffs. Right. I'm too.
Cherry and McLean.
That's hockey.
Welcome back to Boston Garden. I can tell you the Washington Capitals have just scored to end it at Madison Square Garden, New York. The Caps win that series 4-1, so it will be Washington against Boston in the Wales Conference Championship Series, which begins on May the 3rd. The Capitals have just scored, and I know there's a scramble on now to try and get you a replay of that. Here in Boston this evening, it was the Bruins triumphing on Glenn Wesley's goal late in the game with 1:13 to play, and Cam Neely fittingly adds the empty netter. Chicago at St. Louis tomorrow night is at 8:30 Eastern. The Capitals have won, so they will play Boston. There's the final score of this evening here. Boston over Montreal, 3-1. On behalf of all of us, thank you for watching this evening's game from the Garden, and good night.
Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC was brought to you by Molson Canadian, what beer's all about. By Esso, makers of high-performance Esso Supreme Gasoline. And by Pepsi, it's got what it takes.
The head of TV Network Sports is Alan Clark. The executive producer of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC, Ron Harrison. Tonight's game at the Boston Garden was produced by Mark Askin. Our show this evening directed by Terry Maskell. Our isolation director, Paul McKeegan. And our thanks as always to all who helped make tonight's telecast possible. This has been a CBC Sports presentation in association with Molstar Communications.